Good evening, everyone. I'm Real Shoot Wrestling Insider Scott Baxter, here with some breaking news about this Saturday's KRAMPUSMANIA II event in Monongah, West Virginia. Huff Manley's originally scheduled opponent Jackson Argos will be unable to compete. However, a replacement has been found. Former longest reigning 304 champion Aaron West will be meeting Huff Manley in a first-time ever matchup. Also making her RSW debut is Journey Burke as she steps in to take the place of Khalees Starseeker and goes head-to-head with the mama of the murder, Evelyn Sage. It all goes down this Saturday in Monongah, West Virginia for Real Shoot Wrestling's KRAMPUSMANIA II. Come experience Real Shoot Wrestling with us live.
We are live on Wrestleroni. Holy hell, what a time we are going to have this evening, because big things popping, so I'm breaking out the big guns. Joining me this evening, of course, we got my co-host Lawrence Richards. Of course,
what up?
We have senior official of RSW, James Simpson, and
hey, what's going on, Lou?
What's happening? Also, we have joining us RSW Insider himself that just broke the news that you just saw. Holy hell. Scott Baxter's even here. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Lou, it's a pleasure to be here. How are you today?
Dude. Are we hyped or what, gentlemen?
Always.
Yeah, but
Can't wait to talk about KRAMPUSMANIA II.
KRAMPUSMANIA II. You know, somebody asked me on the street today. They said, Spooky Lou, what the hell's a KRAMPUSMANIA? You know what I told them? I said, man, they call it that because Tim Cross going to cramp us in that town hall. There going to be a lot of damn people.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said. There going to be a lot of people in Monongah.
And the two is to represent, it's going to be twice as many as last time, right?
Okay.
I would hope so. Gee, I would hope so. I'm hoping for a sellout.
Oh,
yeah.
I guarantee it. There ain't no doubt in my mind. If we have any Monongah residents watching right now, go ahead and get down to Town Hall, pitch a tent, hang out. You want to be there. You don't want to miss out. Just hang out at Town Hall, man. If the cops tell you to leave, tell them Spooky Lou said. Damn it. Damn, I'm excited, boys. Scott Baxter, thanks for the scoop. What's going on, man? We got a card subject that's changed, it looks like, buddy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lou. As always, the card is subject to change in professional wrestling, and we roll in to Real Shoot Wrestling, bringing not just a pro wrestling event, but experience for the last time in West Virginia in 2022 for the year to Monongah Town Hall. And yes, there are some substitutions. Jackson Argos, as previously announced, unable to compete, but the former longest reigning 304 champion in PWL history, Aaron West, will take his place to face Huff Manley in a first-time ever matchup.
Ooh, okay, let's
Hell
go
yeah.
ahead and we'll get into
Okay,
that.
that sounds good. I like that.
Aaron
Hell yeah.
West coming to Monongah. Is that his first time in RSW?
It is not. He did work. He did come with us. I believe he was at a. Oh, it was an outdoor event. James, you may remember this one.
Who is it again? Aaron West.
Aaron West.
I believe he may have been at a house party.
House party earlier.
He
this
may
year.
have been. I thought it was the barbecue festival.
Okay. Well,
I may have been elsewhere for that shit. I don't recall.
Okay, that might have been it. But I believe he did work previously and make his debut earlier this year. He will be returning, like I said, to meet Huff Manley.
Huff Manley. I'm a big Huff Manley fan. I know Lawrence loves him some Huff Manley. You excited for this match, Lawrence?
I'm super excited, but kind of bummed that I don't get to see my man Jackson Argos.
I hear you. Yeah, but hey, suitable replacement.
Suitable replacement. I'm super excited for the show, regardless of the card being subject to change, sir.
Well, hey, we gave folks plenty of heads up. They can't, And
Yep.
speaking of which, something I'm damn impressed with. Damn impressed with. I double checked before we went live. I said, man, that sucks. Jeff Paul ain't gonna be able to make the show, and I was informed. Come hell or high water, that dude wants the match with Paulie Kilpis. This dude has been sick. He has been down and out. And he says, come hell or hot water, he wants that match with Paulie Kilpis. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I just wanted to let folks know you may be seeing Jeff Paul's social media and him talking about, being in the hospital, being down and out. Dude is a trooper. He's coming through. He's coming to Monongah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm excited for that. James Simpson, you a big Jeff Paul fan? You like some Jeff Paul World Order? Or how you feel on that?
I cannot really say one way or the other because truth be told, I have a fallout with professional wrestling there for a little bit, and I kind of fell off. You know what I mean?
It happens.
And I took my break, and I guess like in the shuffle, I missed him.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna front.
I'm trying to get back into just to everybody and trying to learn everything again.
Well, you stay out of everybody. Quit trying to get into everybody. You just behave yourself this weekend.
Hey, Spook. Hey, is that Jeff Paul? That's the guy that you had on the podcast just about 3 podcasts back. Am I right?
What? Yes, sir. What'd you think of him?
It was fantastic. When you saw my comments, I loved it, and just watching that guy, listening to that guy talk, and the passion he has, and just like everyone that's been on the podcast, I would say that dude will grab the stand with the fucking IV bag if he has to. He'll be in Monongah. For sure, he won't miss that match. If he can make it, he'll fucking be there.
That dude, that's a real dude. He gave me some very real answers. Very controversial interview. Watch it right after this broadcast if you don't believe me. That dude, he definitely made me a fan. I'm not gonna front. I wasn't a big Jeff Paul fan before the interview. I can't keep up with everybody, by God. But I tell you what, afterwards, after talking to him, I said, I like this cat. And I had to look up his back catalog and see what was going on. Dude can go. Dude can go in the ring. Scott Baxter, I know you got the info on everybody. What do you think about old Jeff Paul World Order?
Well, gentlemen, just to kind of fill you in and give you kind of the update itself on Jeff Paul, who works, as I would say, primarily more in the southern West Virginia area. He is a former tag team champion. He at All-Star Wrestling in Madison, West Virginia, a very, very respectable promotion.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And he has had some absolutely outstanding matches throughout West Virginia this year. He has faced Huff Manley in a tables match.
Ooh.
He has faced a slew of people at All-Star Wrestling, like I said, in Madison, West Virginia. He is a very skilled, but I would also say he is a very driven professional wrestler.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Damn, Lawrence, where's Scott Baxter been all of our lives with all of this information he's bringing?
I know, Scott. You need to pop on here more often. We need the deets, my man.
No doubt.
Absolutely, gentlemen. I'll be more than welcome.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. And I will say I'm really looking forward to watch Jeff wrestle. The one thing I will point out and definitely make sure the listeners do absolutely watch that podcast, as it was fire as all the podcasts have been, in my opinion. Jeff Paul didn't also, it seemed like he wasn't a big fan of either Spooky Lou or just the interview, because throughout the interview, he just looks mad. I don't know, he's ready to fight the whole fucking time. But he cracked a smile, and I think you won him over. So it's a really interesting podcast. It's worth watching.
Yeah, I think I won him over. And I tell you, somebody I know I won over, somebody fairly easy to win over because he's a very lovable and loving man. His opponent, what a contrast in styles here. Paulie Kilpis, up for Wrestler of the Year, really came into his own after the breakup with Gannon and Mount Kilpis. He's been on a roll. What do we think about Paulie, Jeff Paul, going into this match? What's Paulie's chances against this guy? What do y'all think?
Well, if you're asking me, and we're just going around the table, whoever wants to go first, I guess I'll jump in first. I would say Paulie has a great chance. You don't get nominated for Wrestler of the Year if you're not putting your work in and entertaining the fans and showing the talent you have in the ring. I would say I think he has a great chance. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Jeff Paul wrestle because I've never seen him wrestle, so should be an interesting match.
For sure. And to James, I know you've been in the ring with Paulie Kilpis. I know you've refed some of his matches, so you know better than any of us. You've been up close and personal. What you
A
think
little too
about this?
close. A little too close, if you ask me. The man is unbelievably athletic. I've seen this man before shows, like cutting, like I don't know how to explain it. Like he would like kip up, but like
Mhm.
in a somersault. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And land on his feet like he was 150 pounds, and this man's easily 3 bills.
Wow. Yeah, he's a big man.
And he has this magnetic personality that you just gravitate towards, and he is like you said, nominated for Wrestler of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's well deserving of that. But
Sure.
with Jeff Paul, I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen Jeff Paul wrestle before. Paulie's gonna have his work cut out for him because I don't know if they've even met anywhere else prior.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have. So yeah,
Excuse me,
like
Mr. Baxter. Have they ever met before?
I do not believe they have ever met before. I believe this will be a first-time meeting between Jeff Paul and Paulie Kilpis. And to
Oh,
answer
yeah.
your question, Lewis, I believe it's my turn.
yeah.
I don't believe Paulie Kilpis has wrestled a match at Real Shoot Wrestling that he did not have a chance in.
Yeah.
He has the absolute heart of a champion, as evidenced by the fact that he is a former two-time Real Shoot Wrestling Tag Team Champion.
Yup.
Oh, yeah.
Yup. That's a good way of putting it. And not just the heart of a champion. Dude can go. The talent's there. The
Mm-hmm.
athleticism's there, as James said. He's the total package. He's the total package,
Char-
and he'll hug you.
Charisma.
Gentlemen, if this was baseball, Paulie Kilpis would be described as a five-tool player because he can do it all.
No doubt.
Okay.
Happy
And
belated
he's got
birthday.
charisma. He's got charisma for days. And I'll say, because it is wrestling that he does, I'm gonna reiterate what I said previously on the podcast with Spooky Lou. He is, to me, the reincarnation, the embodiment of Hacksaw Jim Duggan meets George the Animal Steel.
There you go.
That's a very
With a
good
little
analogy.
hillbilly
I'm
Jim
glad of that.
sprinkled in there.
Yes, with some Hillbilly Jim. Yes, I forgot all about Hillbilly Jim. Fuck yeah, there you go.
Just a little bit.
No doubt.
And Paulie has the heart of all three of those legendary wrestlers that you
Mhm.
have mentioned. Here's going to be an underrated. I think it's going to be the detail of the match, gentlemen.
Mm.
Okay.
And that is the fan support for Paulie Kilpis. That man is beloved everywhere he has stepped foot in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And that is a very good point, Scott Baxter. But to counter that, talking to Jeff Paul, it seems like hate drives him. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got a point to prove. So the more they cheer for Paulie, I think it's going to motivate Jeff Paul just as well, just as much.
Jeff Paul is a very cunning professional wrestler. Very smart, very sneaky smart, I would almost describe it as. And he will find a way to use that fan support against Paulie and to his advantage.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go around. We'll start with James. We'll go up to Lawrence. We'll go over to Baxter. We'll end with me. Who you got?
Paulie.
Paulie?
Paulie.
All right.
I believe I'm going to have to. Oh, it's tough.
I know.
It's a tough one because these are two absolute standout professional wrestlers right here. I'm gonna have to break the cycle. I'm gonna call Jeff Paul for the upset of the night.
Whoa.
Okay. And I'm conflicted. While you guys are making your predictions, I'm going back and forth in my head. Paulie's on a roll. Paulie's a tough dude. Jeff Paul has a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. But
And what a statement it would be to
yeah,
come in and defeat a Wrestler of the Year nominee.
that's
Oh,
true.
wow.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That's one point.
But then Jeff Paul's coming in against a very healthy, a very game. I saw Paulie posting pictures in the gym all week, coming off his birthday. He's game. He's ready to go. He's healthy. But let's not sugarcoat anything. Jeff Paul been sick since Saturday, down and out sick. Like he said, he's never been so sick in his life. So,
Oh, wow.
So I'm bouncing back and forth still. I'm still bouncing back and forth. Paulie Kilpis, just because Jeff Paul's health is not 100%. Sorry, Jeff Paul.
I'm gonna actually step back in here and I'm gonna ask to get kind of a little change of mine. Is that okay?
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Here's what I'm going to say, gentlemen. I want in my heart Paulie Kilpis to win, but I'm going to say I think that Jeff Paul is going to win, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's the resiliency of the human spirit and the fucking adversity that people have to deal with in their lives. The fact that Jeff Paul is coming in to hostile territory, sick as a dog, as you said, sicker than he's ever been in his life, man. That kind of shit really drives people up to make them perform that much better. And I think we are going to have the upset of the night. I'm going to agree with Mr. Scott Baxter. Upset of the night, but damn, I want Paulie to win.
You know what? I really like that. Jeff Paul for the win.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That was sort of what led me to make my decision to call it upset of the night. Gentlemen, let's just call it straight up. Jeff Paul's already had every opportunity to quit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't. He says, no, I'm not quitting. I am going to drag myself. If an ambulance has to bring me to Monongah, West Virginia, I will face Paulie Kilpis.
Yep. That's going to be interesting. That's more interesting. You know, when the match was announced, I said, "Ooh, that's a good one." But after the past few weeks, seeing Paulie Kilpis' social media as compared to Jeff Paul's social media, this is an intriguing one. So, James Simpson, you sticking to your guns? You going with Paulie?
Yes, sir. I have to go with a hot hand.
Okay.
Yep. Can't deny
that.
Mean,
that is the other side of the coin, gentlemen, is a sick Jeff Paul is coming in to face Wrestler of the Year nominee Paulie Kilpis.
Yeah.
Healthy Paulie Kilpis.
Yeah.
Very healthy.
That's that.
But remember that factor of adversity and what the human spirit can deal with and how it can make you really rise above the occasion. That's my concern.
Yep. And the crowd's going to be hot for that one. The kids, the ladies, the men, everybody love Paulie Kilpis. And I think as soon as Jeff Paul comes out that curtain, they're going to be booing the hell out of him. So
yeah.
So let's backtrack. Let's backtrack now. We're talking about the newly made matchup, Huff Manley, coming soon to Wrestleroni, by the way, taking on Aaron West. What do we think about this match, fellas? I'll start it off with Scott Baxter this time. What's your feelings on this one?
Gentlemen, it's a treat. It really is. Huff Manley is again a standout professional wrestler. This is a man that has defeated the likes of QT Marshall this year.
Yep.
This is a man that has won championship gold all over this great state of West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a very hot Aaron West.
Not second.
Aaron West.
He's on a roll.
No. I mean, he has been on a roll this year as well. Aaron West has defended like I said, he is the longest reigning 304 champion in PWL history. He's won significantly more matches than he has lost this year. And it's really it's almost like, I'm trying to think of the best analogy here. It's two undefeated fighters almost coming into the ring.
Oh wow.
Something got to give.
Something's got to give. Exactly, Spooky Lou.
Okay. James Simpson, senior referee. That's why I brought you in, man. You know Huff
Yes, sir.
Manley. How you might not be familiar with Wes, but how you feeling about this one?
Huff Manley, he has some aerial moves. He can be all over the place if he decides to be.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way I can explain it? A fire plug.
Yeah.
He just, as soon as that bell rings, man, he just goes.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Aaron West cannot keep up with him, it's going to make for a long night for him.
Good point. And I know he impressed you at Fairmont State, Lawrence. Go into that for me.
Hell yeah. He very agile, very, very athletic, very quick, very entertaining to watch. As far as like a matchup with Aaron West, I don't have tape on Aaron West. That's not a wrestler that I'm familiar with, but hearing the wonderful esteemed guest here, Scott Baxter, telling me like how he's like had the longest run in 304 in West Virginia is pretty impressive. So I don't know. I'm just kind of up in the air about this one. I'm very excited to see it, especially when he had pointed out how both these wrestlers are more or less undefeated. So I don't have a lot to say about it because I don't have a lot of tape on Manley, and I don't have any tape on West, but I'm definitely looking forward to the match.
For sure. He mentioned a win over QT Marshall, baby. That's AEW superstar, head of the factory, man. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's a big win. He's obviously on a come up. So let's just go ahead and shoot into predictions. We'll go reverse this time. We'll start with Scott Baxter, over to Lawrence, down to James. Back to me again, I guess. And let's get these predictions out there. Who you got, Scott Baxter?
Well, gentlemen, referee James Simpson made a great point about Huff Manley earlier. He is a fire plug. And the thing about Huff Manley, and I'm sure you gentlemen noticed it with your visit at Fairmont State University, he's not just quick, he's sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be that edge. I think Aaron West is going to have the strength advantage in this match.
Yeah.
Huff Manley is going to have the speed advantage. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
And just seeing how close Huff Manley was to winning that 4-way match he was in at Fairmont State University.
Yep.
I'm going to say Huff Manley pulls out a victory.
Okay. And to touch on what you said about that 4-way, Huff probably would have won the match if there was no Phineas McMichael in there. Everybody can't be Phineas McMichael. We'll get that out the way right now. Props to that guy. And we'll talk about him a bit later.
Yeah.
But if Phineas wasn't in that match, I think Huff Manley would have took it. So we'll shoot over to Lawrence's prediction now.
Oh yeah, and while you bring that up, I just want to shout out Phineas and congrats to him and Billy Knox once again, the murder fucking representing and winning the tag team titles. And hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to that guy again sometime. Kind of miss talking to him.
Yeah,
but anyway, I'd say my prediction. I like what Scott Baxter said about also realize how he's sudden, and what that reminds me of. And I'm gonna make my prediction real short and sweet to the point. I don't want to own one, but I love cobras. I've always been fascinated by snakes and how quick a fucking snake can attack. And when you talk about something that's really swift like that and sudden, I think of a cobra strike. Yeah. So Huff Manley, the cobra strike.
Okay. You're going with Huff Manley.
Huff Manley, strike like a cobra, out of nowhere.
Cool. James Simpson, who you got?
Well, first off, I'm just afraid of snakes. Where are their arms and legs?
I got a snake, man.
Nope. But I have to agree with Scott and with Lawrence here. Like I said earlier, Huff Manley is quick, and if he starts doing the high flying maneuvers like he's known for doing, it's going to make for a long night for Aaron West. On the same token, though, if Aaron West gets a hold of him, it could be a very short night for Huff Manley.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going to go with the unknown on my behalf, and I'm going to go ahead and say Aaron West is going to pull the win out on this one.
Okay. Okay.
And I believe at the end of the day, you know, a power wrestler can beat a flying wrestler 9 times out of 10.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys see.
Mm.
And I'm conflicted on this one because, again, both guys on a roll. You got they say the immovable force against the unstoppable object, probably vice versa. It was. You know what Gorilla used to say. Both dudes on a roll. They're going to collide on Saturday. Going to make for a fantastic match. And I'm going with Huff Manley.
All right.
Huff Manley. So,
I think what's interesting about this match is the old adage that you can't hit what you can't catch, right?
okay.
Like, he might just be too quick, but if you do catch it, you might hit it really fucking hard. So, I don't know. It's an intriguing match. I'm looking forward to it.
A wide enough swing will take anything down, though.
Okay. Good points, counterpoints, and to what Lawrence said, you know, if you don't watch it, you're going to miss it.
You're going to miss the shit. I mean, so get your ass down there.
Yeah. You get your ass down to Monongah this Saturday. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Just crazy good. Let's go ahead and dip into what I'm looking at right now. I'm just pulling them up randomly. Internet Championship. This is crazy. This is a dream match if there ever was one. I am so stoked.
Yeah, it is. When I saw that update, I was so happy, Spooky. So happy.
This will get the blood pumping, folks. Remy LeVay, Gannon Green. What y'all think, man?
The change in Gannon Green has been jarring. He is officially sick of everybody's BS, and honestly, it's kind of refreshing to see out of him.
Oh, we got a surprise.
What is
because
this?
Here's the thing. He was with Paulie Kilpis for so long and so happy. You know, I feel like we're finally seeing the true Gannon Green.
Yep, he's been on a roll, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is crazy right now. I recognize that profile pic. Do you, Lawrence?
That's Marcus Twist, my friend.
Marcus Twist.
How about that?
What's up, brother?
Oh, hey, what's up, Marcus?
Sassy son of the Independence, baby.
Holy shit.
It's the mouth of the not so south. Marcus Twist, deciding to stand my way from home. The Wrestleroni podcast.
What are you doing? We was just discussing a crazy match coming up, Marcus. Remy LeVay, Gannon Green, internet title. So, I mean, you're here. Sorry, James. Much apologies. We'll get back to James.
Hey, for a former gentleman, a proper introduction. This is former tag team champion.
Yes.
And former Real Shoot Wrestling employee, Marcus Twist, everybody.
Thank you. Much better. And certainly friend to the podcast.
That former sounds so good. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
James Simpson, I apologize for interrupting. The floor is yours.
Well, boys, how's it been? It's been a little wet. I haven't heard from you in, it's been a week or two. How's it going? We're doing I was just listening on the Twitch stream. So we're doing some reviews. We're calling some matches here. Who's gonna win? Who's not gonna win?
Yep.
I was intrigued, and I mean, like, you guys left the back door open for me, so I figured I'd come up in the back door.
I heard you like to come in the back door.
Hey, hearsay.
Marcus, we were discussing a title match, but I'm actually glad you're here. I want to get your opinion on a different match, if you don't mind, while you're in the podcast.
Oh, brother, let's go.
Let's go.
I would like to. I want your opinion and your prediction between Spooky Lou's favorite professional wrestler, Tommy Irish, the baddest bully that Beantown ever brought versus your former employee, your former friend and tag team champion, DD Vice.
Man, I came in a little late. I wish I would have made it like when you guys were talking about it. You guys already called your shot for that, huh?
No. We have not.
No.
This is
No, we're
weird.
getting
We have
around
not.
for you, sir.
We're accommodating.
I brought it specifically to the table because of your arrival to this stream, sir.
Well played, Mr. Baxter.
Yeah, look at you guys
Gentlemen,
making
as the news
exceptions for
correspondent
little
that
old me.
I am here to ask the hard questions. Marcus, the floor is yours. DD Vice, Tommy Irish.
All right, so I don't know if you guys watched the clips of the training that we've been putting out.
Oh yeah.
This gold,
Yes.
this comedy gold, this training gold
Go.
in our super secret training facility. And no one knows where it is. And it's definitely not inside of an Applebee's. We trained together really, really hard for this match coming up with Tommy Irish. Because, I mean, obviously I've got a ridiculous amount of respect for him. But we're also talking about my brother, DD Vice. I mean, even though I'm a former employee of RSW, I could never let him go in unprepared. We don't do a lot of singles matches. I mean, I know he's flying solo. So what better opponent than me? We've wrestled each other a bunch of times, so I figured we wrestle each other to get him ready. And I'll tell you right now, this is the best shape DD Vice has been in. This is the meanest DD Vice has been in. Meanest state of mind. He's sharp. He's ready to go. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's carrying in a lot of anger. And I think he's going to end up taking it all out on Tommy Irish. I'm calling DD Vice all the way. And if you don't, there's something wrong.
Okay. Hey, confident in his tag partner, his life partner, his friend. I miss SNS, but God, I'm glad we still at least got DD. DD, I told you, I called it from the night Marcus twist. Now's DD's time to shine. And yes, he's going against my new favorite wrestler, Tommy Irish. Dude is, talk about gold. That dude can, like I said, he can say, man, why don't you turn your computer on, Spooky Lou? And I'm dead. I'm on the floor laughing. But he can go in the ring, too. He can go. So DD has his work cut out for him. James, what are you thinking about this one?
See, I have to agree with Marcus Twist, but I have to disagree at the same time. Now, let me explain why.
Okay.
I feel like Didi is going to be angry like Marcus Twist said. I feel like he is going to take out all his frustrations out on Tommy Irish, just like Marcus Twist said.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is it's going to give him tunnel vision, and he's not going to actually see the winning of the match as the goal. It's going to be punishing Tommy Irish.
Yep.
Okay. Now the problem with that is you can beat him like he owes you money. Great. You have to do it within the confines of the rules, though.
Yep.
Okay. And I know because I'm one of them, the RSW referees don't want they want controlled chaos. Okay? I feel like he's going to take the control out of the chaos and just beat him so badly that he ends up getting disqualified. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say that DD Vice is going to win the fight, but Tommy Irish will win the match.
Oh, wow.
I see where you're going. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Okay,
That's
Lawrence.
definitely a good point.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Tommy Irish will not be able to enjoy any sauce around the greater Monongah area that night because of that fact.
Yeah, his mouth's gonna be swole shut. He might be in hospital by the end of the night, and that's my dude. That's my dude. But like I say, this is a dream match for me. Don't even get. I ain't gonna start rambling. Rich, tell me what you think.
Well, I think he brings up excellent points. I really do. However, I'm just going to say that going back to the conversation we had with our newly popped in esteemed guest and friend of the show, Marcus Twist, that neither he nor Didi have ever felt the need to cheat to win a match. So in order to get disqualified, wouldn't he pretty much have to cheat? Like grab a ring bell or something crazy shit like that? And I don't.
No,
Not
no, he
necessarily.
does not.
It could be a
No.
simple 5 count, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could get so wrapped up
I got you. Okay.
beating up on Tommy Irish. I mean, like I feel like Tommy Irish can be eating beans through a straw for at least 2 months after this match.
And tomorrow,
Lawrence, I'll explain it to you this way. I have refereed matches where I have been telling guys, hey, get off of him, and they have thrown me down to the mat.
Oh, got you.
That is an automatic disqualification. That is not a warning, nothing. That is the match is over.
Yep.
You done lost the match.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
And
Man.
closed fist. You're warned so many times about that closed fist, and it's over. Call for the bell. It's not boxing; it's wrestling.
I got you. Okay, so let me come back to my answer then. I kind of sort of want to agree with James here that I think that the battle will certainly be won. He's going to inflict some severe punishment after being cheated and losing his tag team partner for SNS to split up in the New Ken show. So I think he will win the battle by all means. He will dish out a lot of punishment, but he may very well lose the match. And I just want to point out, I think what would help him stay calm and composed and more poised in the match where he would win the match, and I know this is not going to happen because he's not going to step foot in it. If Marcus was there somehow where he could see his tag team partner, I think it would be different. But because we are not going to expect Marcus to be there, I'm going to agree with James. I think he's going to lose the match.
Damn.
I can tell you right now, insider scoop, that I will not be there on Saturday because we have our own prepping to do. We got to up against Mount Kilpis. There's the Road to Victory at VCW. It's another pay-per-view coming up on Fight TV.
Yep.
I'm doing my preparations for that. We got a tough match coming up. I'm not going to risk anything because that's my moneymaker. I'm not going to be working at RSW. I certainly not going to take any risks going into RSW. Possibly getting in the scramble in between those two. Potentially have both of us hurt instead of just one of us not at 100%. Because we're going to have to be pushing past 100% for Sunday.
Right.
So right now, not saying that I wouldn't in the future, possibly.
Okay.
Maybe be in his corner at some point if we can work out like a 6-figure contract with Tim Cross. I'm still waiting for the paperwork. But it's not going to be Saturday. I'm not going to be there Saturday.
I was even going to say, why make that long-ass drive if you're not making $1 off of it? I totally get it. I totally get it. Scott Baxter.
Gentlemen, I hope I don't upset our esteemed guest with my prediction on this one because I think I see this just a little bit differently.
Okay.
Okay.
Tommy Irish is the baddest bully Beantown ever brought. That's just simple.
Simple.
The detail of the match seems to be what everybody else is not focusing on, because it seems everybody here mentions how much Didi is going to, quote unquote, punish Tommy Irish. I think the detail of the match is going to be Tommy Irish and punishing Didi. And here's what I mean, gentlemen. Not only is he a very physical wrestler, Spooky Lou, is he not?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. One of the most physical men on the Real Shoot Wrestling roster. But when you're a bully, it's psychological as well. And I think he's going to use that anger and Mr. Marcus Twist no longer being employed by Real Shoot Wrestling. And I think he's going to use it to draw Didi maybe into that tunnel vision that James had mentioned earlier and kind of lure him maybe into some unfortunate circumstances.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
That's I'd like to add like a little like sidebar, because
Okay.
I mean we've talked about Saturday Night Special plenty on the show. We know of our backgrounds. I understand like Tommy Irish is the baddest bully in Beantown. I mean, I get that. I've watched his work. I've been in a locker room more than once with him. I've seen what he's capable of. I've seen the wise guys. I mean, like he's a talent,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't rule out DD Vice. Anytime that you ever try, not only is he going to meet the expectations, he'll go far above and beyond the expectations.
No.
You got to figure, we've been doing no ring death matches.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing hardcore matches. I mean, like we damn near, it was basically just like a 2-on-1 fight in between us and the murder. We might have lost that one, but I mean, like we both individually held our own against two guys on one guy throughout that match.
Yep.
Okay.
Not only are we both tough, but I feel like he can keep a calm enough, leveled head to get the W. I mean, like we didn't train for no reason. We've been in these high pressure situations more than once. Just because that I'm not there, I don't think that'll really affect it that much. I understand
okay.
he's upset with the office, but you can't rule out DD Vice. He surprises everybody, even me.
For sure. That's a good point.
But Marcus, if I may mention another detail here, you mentioned that tag team title match against the Murder at Fairmont State. DD Vice was the one taken out early in that match between the two of you. It was mostly you fighting 2-on-1.
I mean, that's true. I could probably claim being the tougher of the two of us, but it's not about, because I beat him in a no ring death match. We could talk about that a little bit. I went up against DD Vice and I hit him with a tiger driver through a chair. But I'm a tough customer. That's just how things work. That's how that match played out that night. But just because I may be the tougher of the two of us, and we've proven this in athletic competition at this point, it doesn't mean by any means is Tommy Irish tougher than me. We've never put the pen to paper. We don't know. This is an equation that like there is no answer to, and we won't know until the end of the match on Saturday.
There you go.
There's a lot of variables and a lot of math behind all this, and you can compare apples to oranges. But I feel like regardless, it's going to be a good match. It's going to be nice and competitive. I feel like we're going to see a different side of DD Vice. I know,
Gentlemen,
we're going to have to see a different side of Tommy Irish, because he's going to have to bring something he's never brought to the table before.
Okay.
You were saying, Mr.
I can almost make the argument this very well could be the hardest hitting match of the night.
For sure. For sure.
It's big meaty men slapping meat. That's obvious.
It is.
That doesn't sound right, Marcus.
I'll say, brother, it was the New Day came up with that, not me. I just like to reiterate it because that's probably my favorite thing I've ever seen. Big E loves to watch big meaty men slapping meat. Marcus Twist likes to watch it too. If I can't be involved, I'll watch it all day long.
Hey, you know what? I know Regina Badger's excited about it. Our brand new follower, commenting in the chat right now. She's excited for the match. Shit, we don't even get me started on who I believe this is in the chat. I'll just leave it at that. Let's talk about your variables, Mr. Marcus Twist. You want to talk about variables? We've been talking about all these variables. Let's go into, there is a pay-per-view the next night. And VCW, huge show the next night. The variable I want to bring up is Tommy Irish has been embroiled in this feud with the Rad Boys. That's been his focus. Big tables match, finally putting an end to this feud. Is he focused on DD Vice? Is that his main concern? Or is he looking forward to Sunday at the VCW pay-per-view? That's why I think Didi could catch him. Didi can catch him off guard. I know, I'm well aware that you and Didi have a huge match with Mount Kilpis the next day as well. But like I say, this deal with the Rad Boys, this is a damn blood feud. They killed their dinosaur, bro. So this is a blood feud. Tables match coming up. I wonder if my dude, Tommy Irish, I love you. I've been in all of this man since the first time I saw him. Don't even get me started. That's a whole nother podcast where I talk about Tommy Irish and how great he is. I think Didi got him Saturday. I don't think he's worried about Saturday. I think he's looking forward to the Rad Boys and the tables match, and I think it's going to cost him in the long run.
Well, that's an extremely valid point because, I mean, like, the Wise Guys have been in this crazy blood feud with the Rad Boys since basically before we even showed up at VCW. We did the ink on the paper didn't even dry on a contract before like they started going back and forth. They were there before us. They've had this going on for a while. We've had the same thing going on with Mount Kilpis, but here I think what it's going to come down to is, are both of these guys, and this is speaking from like a fan, not a friend, are both of these guys capable of going 110% and still being able to perform at the same level the following day?
Yep.
If I was the guy standing across from Tommy Irish, I would be thinking, how upset or not, based on all the information, if it was D.D. Weiss in the same situation, he was on the sidelines and I was standing there, am I capable of doing what it takes to beat this guy and then being in the same locker room with him the following day and being able to have this big, big match? Because this is putting the shovel, like the last scoop of dirt on the grave, like with us and Mount Kilpis. And I know this is the end of an era with the Rad Boys. So, I mean, there's a lot of pressure coming into Saturday, and I think it's something that you wouldn't be able to experience unless you were the guy that was standing in the ring.
For sure. And that's a good point. I said earlier this week, it's a huge, huge, huge weekend for West Virginia Pro Wrestling. A very WrestleMania-like event from both companies. I mean, Krampusmania stacked card, VCW, huge pay-per-view. We're crowning a champion. We're ending blood feuds, finalizing things, going into the new year. Couldn't be two bigger events this weekend. So with that said, let's get out our final predictions. We've debated and hesitated. I'll start. And, man, Tommy Irish, my new favorite wrestler, but I'm going with D.D. Weiss, and I'm shooting it over to James Simpson, and we'll work our way around.
All right, like I said, Tommy Irish is going to win the match, but D.D. Weiss is going to win the fight.
Okay. Rich Lawrence.
One and the same.
Rich Lawrence Richards.
There you go. Even with all the points that were made, and I certainly agree and want to side with James. I don't know, man. Just because my heart pick, I'm going to say Didi.
Hell yeah!
I really want Didi to win, and I believe that he can pull it off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Marcus Twist. I don't even know why I'm going to ask you, but you're here. By God, who you got?
It's pretty obvious. I'm going to go with D.D. Weiss. I think he's gonna pull it out with not much issue. I hope Tommy Irish just keep it friendly. Keep it friendly competition. Because just remember, just in case he's listening, you got to be in the same locker room with both of us tomorrow.
Makes sense to me. Scott Baxter, if anybody knows anything about everything.
Gentlemen, I'm going to have to call Tommy Irish on this one. I know it may seem like an upset, but I think the Bully of Beantown is going to get a W. Mr. Twist, if I may actually toss a question your way, you had made an interesting comment just a second ago about Tommy Irish having to share a locker room with the both of you the next night. My question is, sir, are you concerned about Dee Vice being alone in a locker room tonight, or not tonight, but Saturday night, with your opponent the next night, Mount Kilpis?
That's an extremely good question.
That's why we got him in here.
I have an overwhelming amount of faith that there's plenty of friends of ours that'll be in that locker room on Saturday. And we have the most professional security team in the business. I'm almost positive, and because RSW and VCW get along so well, I'm sure that no one's going to allow that to cross over in one locker room and make it all the way to the next night. Because everyone, like, let's face it, we're all here for the competition, the athletic competition, but no one wants anyone to get hurt. So I think everyone's going to keep nice and separated. I think Tim Cross is capable of keeping everything extremely professional. I'm sure, because if it was me, I would get Dee Vice's own locker room. He deserves it. And dressing room. I mean, he's a star. He's got star power. Just to keep everything calm, cool, and collective, maybe separate everybody. That's what I would do, and I'm 100% sure that's probably what they're going to do.
Good question. Who you got, Scott Baxter?
I'm taking Tommy Irish in the fight.
Tommy Irish. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Hey,
Again.
Hey, Spooky. Hey, Spooky.
Spoke.
I just wanted to interject in here because Marcus kind of jumped in late and we kind of only went over a couple matches. Do you think we want to maybe get his opinion on the matches that we already picked?
I would love to do that.
Okay.
Is that okay? Does everyone got time? I'm not trying to hold anyone up. I just thought, what the hell?
We got time like landmine, baby.
All right, let's get it.
What we had Aaron West, Huff Manley. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this with Marcus Twist?
Well, it's odd. I was just talking to you about Huff earlier because he's going to be on the podcast. He's the next host. He's the next interview that you have coming up.
Yes, sir.
Next time, I knew Spooky was firing my ass.
He might be the new co-host. I don't know. I haven't talked to Huff in a while. But I'm going to pick him just based on, like, he's a huge talent. The guy's got fight in him. Every time that I've ever had the privilege of seeing him in the ring, he impresses the shit out of me. If I was a singles wrestler, which thank God I'm not, I would be worried. I'd be worried. So, but I'm gonna have to pick Huff.
Okay. Another one we went over was Jeff Paul against Paulie Kilpis.
Now, okay, so
personal issues aside,
we'll try to keep it professional, and I'll look at it as a fan instead of looking at it as an opponent.
Try.
So Paulie Kilpis, we have history, obviously, and I know what it's like to stand across a ring from a Wild Kilpis and Appalachian Oddity. It doesn't. It's a completely new and different experience. I know that Jeff he's got the edge of experience. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's capable of great things, and we've seen that from him in the past. But Paulie Kilpis, like I said, we talk about these variables, all these different variables in this business. Paulie Kilpis is somebody that you'll never be able to put your finger on. You need to be 110% prepared for anything and everything, any style, anything that he can throw at you. I mean, the guy's he's an elephant packed in a pair of cutoff shorts. You can't like take your eyes off of him. So I'm gonna pick Paulie Kilpis.
Okay.
But not for Sunday. But I'll pick him for Saturday, 110%.
Yeah, definitely not for Sunday. Yeah, SNS all day Sunday. I mean, let's be real. Y'all popped the rating on the last pay-per-view. Y'all's going to do it again and pull out yet another win, still undefeated in VCW.
We'll be 5-0, and that's where we're just going to continue. We're going to close the door to 2022 on a high note, being the only undefeated tag team in VCW.
Hell
And
yeah.
then after this tag team tournament comes up, which I'm sure it will, we'll be the very first VCW Tag Team Champions.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my prediction. 2023. We'll side prediction. We want to talk about the future. Let's talk about the distant future. That's what I predict for Saturday Night Special.
Hell yeah.
If you ask me, they need to Eric Bischoff, Triple H that deal, and just give you all the VCW tag belts when they come up with them. But that's just my opinion, and I'm not a promoter. So,
Mhm.
and
I
Marcus,
think we were getting ready to go over the Remy match, so this would be
that's what-
perfect time for me with that.
Yep, that's what we was getting into. And Marcus, you're welcome to ride along with us as long as you like. We've still got matches to go over and things to discuss. Remy LeVay, Gannon Green both guys on a roll. Gannon Green, no bullshit, man, just murking folks left and right. But Remy LeVay, no pushover. Very tough customer. Long time reigning internet champion. Fellas, what do you think?
Who kicks it off? Because I don't know. This is like a weird game of four square, loses the bottom. I
got
can't
a lot
really
of
gauge it.
Hey, let's
Swift.
go with Marcus. Let's go with Marcus since he popped in late.
Yeah, Marcus, go for it.
All right, so I've had the pleasure and sometimes the pain of being in the ring with both of these guys in this match, which I feel like this is the first time this has popped up on this card so far. I've wrestled Gannon Green. He's one of the strongest competitors that I've probably ever gone up against outside of VCW's own Beast Man. The Mount Kilpis as a whole is just it's physically overwhelming and mentally overwhelming to even think about how strong these guys actually are. Whenever you just live in the woods and you eat berries and twigs and whatever else they do, like trees and pick up boulders all day, you eventually do become this specimen. And that's what Gannon Green has going for him. The strength is through the roof. Now, with that being said, because he's throwing me around like a rag doll, we've all seen it, but he can do that to anybody. Here's something that you don't expect in Remy LeVay, though. Remy LeVay will persevere any given Sunday. That doesn't apply to him because he can beat anybody any given day, and it's got nothing to do with luck. It's all skill with this guy. He is a veteran of the business. He has been one of the most successful men in Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas. He's held the internet title for, I think, nearly 2 years. Like, if I'm not, because everyone gives Zeke his credit, but no one gives Remy his credit. He's coming up on 2 years as internet champion. And every time that I've gone up against him, because I've wrestled for that internet title, I mean, he pulled out all the stops. We got the match posted up. If anyone's interested in seeing it, I know Lou posted it.
I watched it recently. It's really good. Really good.
Remy LeVay has submissions. He is a striker. He is completely unpredictable. He can stand toe-to-toe with anybody in the business. I've wrestled him in singles. I've wrestled him in tags. I mean, I'm one of the only guys that I can say he's got a win record bigger than his loss record against me personally. I'm 1-2 with Remy LeVay.
Okay.
I pick Remy.
Okay.
All day, every day, and not only do I pick him for this internet title win, I pick him for winning this entire tournament to be the very first VCW heavyweight champion.
Oh, shit.
Because that's on Sunday, too. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
that's on Sunday.
We'll definitely get into that. As a matter of fact, it's funny you say VCW because one Nick West is currently in the chat. Marcus, he says, folks, Marcus Twist, he's pretty good at the wrestles. I presume he's talking about Remy, or maybe he's talking to you or about you. But Nick West has chimed in as well. So be on your best behavior. We have VCW royalty in the chat, so just a heads up.
All right.
But
That's
go
the
on.
big boss man.
I
That's
know.
that's
Hell
still
yeah, dude.
my
That's
boss.
awesome.
Yes.
See, if I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't be nervous to have the big boss man Nick here in the chat. But at least it's not Tim Cross. I don't have to worry about him because
No, Tim
I
don't
quit,
watch
so
any of this shit. Don't worry.
that doesn't
about
matter.
Man,
Yeah, he's got
Spooky,
better
you called
shit
this.
to do.
You called this podcast. This is like fucking royalty, bro.
it. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, we've had.
We got Nick West. We got like the inside track with Scott Baxter. We got the sweet and sassy son of the Independents, Marcus Twist. We got the fucking James Simpson, the esteemed ref.
Dude.
Wow, this is crazy, bro.
Honey
This is
Badger was
crazy.
in here earlier.
Hell yeah.
Badger is the best. She's great.
How cool.
I was
Shout out
just
to
talking
Honey
to
Badger.
her earlier in the old group chat. She's a peach. She's a rose amongst thorns, as they say.
That makes sense. I like that. Well put. Well put. Let's not get.
I was just gonna say who do we got next, man?
Huh?
Who do we got next?
I'll go ahead and go next, actually.
Okay, yeah, let's hear from old James here. What's up, James?
The grizzled vet.
Well, like I said, Gannon Green is a machine when it comes to wrestling. He wrestled for WVU Mountaineers wrestling team when he was in college, you know? I mean, we went to high school together. He was the heavyweight champ at one point.
Okay.
I want to say. Sorry, that was 20 years, but that for me that was like 20 years ago. So that's then, but this is now, and he's a former RSW Tag Team Champion twice with Paulie Kilpin.
Yeah,
and like I
evolved.
said, he has shown a new side of, not a new side, but possibly his true side.
Yep.
And since splitting with Paulie Kilpin, and I love Remy to death. I refereed his title win during the pandemic era of Real Shoot Wrestling when we were doing Stay in Your House.
Okay.
And he has, as they would say in the NFL, a high motor. He goes into this next gear, and there is no stopping this man. And with that, because he is the champion, because he has held that belt for 2 years, and he is almost unstoppable at this point. Give me 2 wrestlers in RSW that's better than him right now in a win-loss record. Any 2.
Yeah, we'll ask Scott Baxter because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We need Scott on this one.
I can't think of a soul.
Okay.
Gentlemen, James Simpson is factual. As he's just stated, Remy LeVay has been internet champion for as long as the global pandemic has happened. That was 2020 and 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he defeated Andrew Palace for that as well, correct?
Yes, he did.
He did. He beat Andrew Palace for that. Here's a weird fact. You guys want to hear something?
Yes.
Saturday night specials tag match.
Oh shit.
Happened on the night that Remy LeVay won the title.
That is an interesting fact. And I'm going to go ahead and finish before we introduce our next guest here. I'm going to go ahead and say Remy LeVay is going to retain the internet title yet again and continue on possibly towards his 3rd year.
Okay. And let me say, this is the wildest show ever, best show ever by far. Surprises left and right. Violent Vance Desmond, how we doing?
Oh, like the bliss, twisted bliss.
Man, okay. Look at us. Like I said, royalty wrestling. Royalty tonight, fellas.
That's something else. I wasn't even expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that.
Dude, my phone can only hold 6 people. I don't think I can get another one to fit on my screen.
This is insane. The floor is yours, man. What's on your mind? Why are you joining us? Welcome. And what's on your mind?
How are we doing? But Bailey's winning that probably because continuing to do Bianca.
I'm not sure.
I think Vance is watching Murder, She Wrote.
Maybe he's just listening to us. Fair enough.
Yeah, he might just be listening really, really close.
Okay, fair enough. He's creeping. He's creeping. That's cool. He's always welcome on the show.
Vance is in here in spirit, guys.
Vance is the Sting of the podcast right now. He's up in the rafters. He's not talking to anybody.
This is insane. This is insane.
Oh.
Those are my recents.
Are you watching Glee?
Vance Desmond, how you feeling?
You don't say.
Okay, I see you. Okay, he's gonna be the strong, quiet, strong, silent type. Then, as we know,
that's his type. That is his type.
Okay, all right. That's how we do here on Twitch Live. This is anything can happen when it's live, boys.
We was just talking about how much we love Vance Desmond, so that's perfect.
Yeah, violent party going in.
To be fair,
a tag match after this.
To be fair, I never said I loved him, but I'm starting to.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There we go.
He'll grow on.
Hey, what's around this bad boy? Because I got some shit to say about this match myself.
Have at it.
Can I jump in? I actually kind of want to hear from our esteemed reporter in the field there, Mr. Scott Baxter. I'd like to hear his thoughts first.
Okay. Well, before that, Royalty has spoken again, and I'm going to get right back to you. I promise you. Nick West is excited to experience his first Real Shoot show live on Saturday, so we're going to have him in attendance in Monongah. If we can squeeze him in the door, get there early, Nick West, because we're going to be packed, baby.
That's a shame. The only thing I regret is not being able to be there to hang out with him.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
a shame.
For sure. Going to be an awesome show,
Yeah.
but we was asking Scott Baxter's opinion. Have at it.
I've seen like here. It's a little.
You know what? I think that's Vance's kid on his
Taking control.
Oh,
Anyway,
already
gentlemen,
on.
we were
That was
talking
main
about the
event.
Real Shoot Wrestling Internet Championship match between Gannon Green and the long reigning champion Remy LeVay. Here is what I'm going to call the detail of the match, gentlemen. Gannon Green has been on a rampage since the split with Paulie in Real Shoot Wrestling.
All right.
He has
That's fine.
been all about eliminating the BS in Real Shoot Wrestling, and he is not going to take any BS about it. The problem is he is facing a man that is absolutely no BS. There is nothing BS about internet champion Remy LeVay. This is a gentleman that has sat under the learning tree of Jason Gorey in the culmination, been paired with the likes of Atticus Kogar.
Yep.
And I mean, he has just beaten the best of the best that Real Shoot Wrestling has had to offer. To start off, Andrew Palace to win the title. Just in the year of 2022 alone. One of the Moment of the Year nominees, Frat Daddy coming off the U-Haul onto Remy LeVay. Remy LeVay kicks out and goes on to win that match. I'm going to say the same thing happens here. Gannon Green can give him the absolute best fight anybody may be able to bring to Remy LeVay, but Remy LeVay is going to win that fight.
Okay. Okay.
Agreed.
Marcus Twist?
Oh, it's at 110%, man. Coming from somebody who's wrestled some of the guys. Well, technically, I've wrestled every active member of the Culmination currently.
Okay.
That whole house that the Culmination has built, all three of them, Phil Archer, Remy LeVay, Jason Gorey, all three extremely tough competitors. They're dangerous together. They're dangerous apart. It's 110%. I would if I had to put money down, if I was a betting man, I would put everything on Remy LeVay.
Makes sense to me. I mean, that's hard to debate. I'm going to go ahead and interject since I'm talking anyway. Bye, Vance Desmond. We love you. Big fan. I'm not sure what the fuck that was about, but that was cool.
That was funny as shit.
I'm not sure.
Vance Desmond's super over with me. That was great. The Sting in the rafters.
You've set a precedent, and now they're just following you in the back door. That's cool.
Hey, brother, it won't be the first time that I made something popular and everyone follows suit.
Oh,
Oh, he's back.
what the hell is going on? I'm going with Gannon Green. I'm going with Gannon Green. He's on a roll. Gannon Green's awesome. Vance Desmond, what do you think? He's playing games with us.
Hey, Vance Desmond's picture. What do you think? No? Okay.
Well, it's
I'm going to have to
to
ban
be
Vance
completely
Desmond
fair.
from your Discord. We're trying to do a professional show here, Vance Desmond.
He's just having a hard time, man. You got to cut him some slack. Discord's relatively new. Vance has been around for a long time.
No,
just
I'll
got
tell
the
you
internet.
When we did the podcast last week, he was on top of it. God bless him. He was on top of it. I think A, he's been hacked, or B, it's his kid.
I think it's his kid.
If it's
you know what I think happened?
What?
I think Billy Knox casted a spell on his Discord.
Oh shit!
Oh Lord.
Well, and we're gonna get into that gauntlet match very shortly. Yeah, we'll let him creep. As long as you're quiet, you can sit over there and creep. Get over there in your little corner and you creep all you like. Just be quiet and let us run our professional podcast. Who hasn't given a prediction? Because that's really thrown me off. I'm off my game now.
I think that's everybody.
Okay.
Lawrence is the only gentleman that has not given his opinion.
The floor is yours, Lawrence. Thank you. Scott Baxter is on top of everything.
I'm telling you, we need this guy in the podcast more often. He helps to keep a semblance, and he gives us all the fucking scoops and shit.
I love it.
I've been waiting and chomping at the bit. I'm gonna tell you, when I went to work today and I was driving parts for my fucking auto store, I've been thinking about this. First, though, before I even start, I want to say, Marcus, the Sting in the Rafter shit is so fucking funny. That's classic. With Vance just creeping on us. But here's my thought, guys, and I want every single person that's already made their position as to who they think's going to win. Think about this. All records and typically all records and all streaks and everything good comes to an end. Okay. Nothing lasts forever. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Remy. I watched the Andrew Palace match. Thank you, Spooky, for having that up on the channel.
Hell yeah.
Where he won the internet belt. Fuck yeah. Hell of a champion. Will never take anything away from him. I love to watch him. Love to watch him work. I've seen him several times now in person. Looking forward to watching him again. However, all things come to an end. I think Gannon wins this match. And I'm going to add a extra little spice to this mix. A little bit extra flavor, because I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page here. I believe you and I spoke before, esteemed host Spooky Lou, of a rule that the internet champion is allowed to turn the belt in for a chance at the title. Did I hear that correctly?
You're correct.
I think Gannon wins the match, and I think he should turn the belt in and then go after Zeke Mercer and become the heavyweight champion of RSW.
Oh, damn.
That's one hell of a prediction.
Very bold prediction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
What do you think about that shit?
I think you're giving that hillbilly a lot of credit. I like it. It's what I would do.
But he is right. That hillbilly, that man that you just called a hillbilly, is very hungry right now as well.
Yep. Strong as an ox, living in the woods, picking up boulders, guys.
And as James had mentioned earlier, Gannon has no short of wrestling ability about him. Former West Virginia State heavyweight champion, former wrestler at West Virginia University for the Mountaineers, the Gold and Blue. This is a man that can get a person to the mat and pin him.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, can he do it to the longest internet champion, Remy LeVay?
It's in theory. Like I'll say what I would do, and I'll say what I think will happen. Everything that Lauren said, while it makes 110% more sense to take that internet belt, to turn it in, to get your big shot against Zeke. that's a big mountain to climb. If I was in the same situation, I'd love to do that. But like I said, it's not me. This is Gannon Green. Talking as a guy that's been across from him in the ring, because I mean, I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm the only person here that's had experience in the ring with him, outside of referee James.
Right.
But the one way, because Saturday Night Special, here's a fact. I keep on throwing out these facts. It's like I'm walking down memory lane here. Saturday Night Special has never lost to Mount Kilpiss. Never.
Ever.
Never. And you know, we've probably wrestled them. I'd have to count it. But Saturday Night Special has probably wrestled Mount Kilpiss at this point 7 times.
Wow.
Dang.
Easily.
We've gone against them in a tag team gauntlet match. We've defended the RSW tag belts against them. We've gone head to head with them 4 times now in different matches at BCW. We have more experience against them than any other team or any other individual on either roster for either company. Saturday Night Special, myself, DD Vice, we've always managed to be able to beat them based on our quick thinking. These guys are strong guys. They're powerhouse guys. We know that about Paulie. We know that about Gannon.
But
we know that they're not lacking in any way of athletic ability. No one's saying that. Just because you're capable, are you capable of outsmarting a veteran of Remy LeVay's caliber?
yeah.
If you can't outsmart Saturday Night Special, like not once out of 7 times, how are you going to be able to outsmart a guy that's beat Saturday Night Special?
Yeah.
It's an interesting little detail there, Marcus. Gannon may have an experience in amateur wrestling, but Remy LeVay has the experience in professional wrestling, and it's 2 completely different worlds.
Oh, it's apples to oranges. And with a guy that held that title for as long as he has, I'm sure, and coming from experience as somebody who's challenged for that title, Remy LeVay has tricks up his sleeve that no one's ever seen. And I'm sure that he has something put back just for Gannon Green. We've seen him wrestle against opponents the same size recently. He's wrestled MV Young and pulled off a win against MV Young. I mean, that in itself, an extremely, like, it's almost an insane accomplishment. It's something that I would never in a million years think I was going to see. So, I mean, like, we're comparing the 2 of them, but look at who Remy's beat. Gannon Green's no slouch, but Remy LeVay has ran through a lot of really tough competitors.
Yep.
I feel like that's what we're going to see coming up on Saturday. I'm not going to be there. I'll see it later whenever it hits online, but I would 130 mil, like 100,000% put my money on that.
And I'm glad you brought up that point. I'll go ahead and get it out to the listeners right now. If you're listening to the podcast, it's not going to be a surprise to you guys. I'm going to reward you, and I'm going to give you a bit of information. Once KRAMPUSMANIA is filmed, I will make it my personal mission to have that bitch edited and out to you guys before Christmas as an early Christmas gift from myself and RSW to the fans. So if you're listening, you got the scoop. Don't tell nobody. That's a reward for folks listening. You will be able to see Gannon Green, Remy LeVay, another hard to choose match. Tim Cross has really got us just conflicted this evening. And also, while I have the floor here, I do have an update on Mr. Violent Vance Desmond. He simply just opened up his laptop. He hasn't used it since the last podcast, and Discord was up and running from there.
God, did he never close Discord?
No.
He never closed Discord. He
Bro,
never had to Google anything.
Oh,
he
Violent
hasn't
wow.
used
Vance
that
has been
laptop
around
since
so
last
long.
week.
He
I
just
mean, you have Google on in your back pocket, to be honest.
Yeah, but
you know that guy breaks out a dictionary when he needs to know some shit. We're talking about Violent Vance Desmond here.
hell yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, fair, Tom did have him on his top 8.
So everybody has made their prediction on this match. Am I right?
And that joke fell
Yes,
flat.
sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Because we were.
Yes, sir.
I remember MySpace.
Yeah, I remember.
Violent Vance Desmond was around before social media was around.
Hey, I
That's
remember your space,
the
buddy.
Discords and the Twitches and the Twitters and the MyFaces or whatever. He's just not hip to the job, my man. He's
Nah.
too busy being a kick-ass wrestler to be good at
that's
the
also
internet.
very valid.
Yep. And we're going to talk about him momentarily when we get into the tag gauntlet. Man, we're only about halfway through. We've got so many matches, but we're having fun. We're breaking it down very well. Let's talking about characters. Frat Daddy, Jake Ely. Holy shit. What do you guys think about
Oh,
this? We'll
wow.
start this
Oh,
one off
God.
with Scott Baxter.
Gentlemen, this very well could be a match of the night contender. Jake
Wow.
Thunderbird, one of, I would say, the most charismatic superstars here at Real Shoot Wrestling, versus a man that has grown quite a following, quite a fan following in the Frat Daddy Tristan St. Croix. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it is going to be must see.
Oh, it's going to be so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? While I can here for a moment, we have a question in the chat. Somebody asked, "Excuse me, with what is going on here?" I'll tell you what's going on here. We're talking Krampusmania this Saturday, Monongah, West Virginia. RSW bringing you the show of a lifetime. If you can't be there live in Monongah, West Virginia, join us on YouTube. Get on the RSW Live Facebook. Stay up to date. It's going to be the wrestling show of the year. You got just listen to us break down these matches. This show's crazy. Scott Baxter, as you were saying, sir. I'm sorry.
I believe I was finished, gentlemen. I just know this match, the Thunderbird Jake Ely versus the Frat Daddy Tristan St. Croix, it's going to be exciting. It is going to be one of the most exciting matches probably in Real Shoot Wrestling's year of 2022, and I can honestly say I predict it to be my match of the night contender.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard to debate. Two characters and two dudes that can go in the ring. These guys both crack me up, entertaining as hell, and like I say, they can go. What do you think about James Simpson?
The Battle of the Big Mouth.
Okay.
Both of these men can sell you the glasses off of your face.
Yep.
Okay? Both these men are very, very talented wrestlers.
Oh.
In my career here at RSW, I have shared the ring with Frat Daddy, Tristan St. Croix many times. I honestly think that the unpredictability of Jake Ely is going to help him in this match far more than the cunningness of the Frat Daddy.
Okay. Also, in our chat, they're saying they're gonna be there live. They got front row seat. Burwell 648 gonna be there live, front row seat. So we're gonna break down the action for you. As James just said, this is gonna be a crazy one. Were you done with your comments, James? Or are we moving on to Lawrence?
Yes,
Or you got
sir.
anything else you want to add?
Go ahead and give it to Marcus Twist or Lawrence there.
Yeah, let's give it to Marcus. He's a wrestler. Lawrence just a dude.
Hey, brother. All I'm saying is if there would be more shitty matches on this card, we would be able to make these predictions a hell of a lot easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we got the Thundercock, Jake Ely.
I don't think that's his name, but okay.
Well, that's what he called him.
That's what Chris called him. That's his name, right?
He called him the Thundercock. I
call him
watched the
Thunder
promo.
Chode.
Well,
Right
he's the
behind the
dynamic. He's the
Steam on
dynamic Thunder Thimble, Jake Ely.
Okay.
But I've watched him a lot. I've watched a lot of his matches. I was around whenever he made his RSW debut. The guy's extremely talented.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, just because I admire you, that doesn't mean that I think that you can step into the ring with the newly found frat daddy, Tristan St. Croix. Now, the good guys and Saturday Night Special, here that like we keep on bringing up guys that I've experienced with the ring.
Yeah.
Almost every match I've wrestled either one or both competitors. Back whenever Tristan was still a shithead, before he found the frat daddy in him, he was tagging with Zach Myers of the Good Guys, and we feuded with them before beating them for the RSW Tag Team titles. We feuded with them for over a year. Now, we're talking about like us, Mount Kilpiss earlier. The only other team in RSW that we have that kind of experience with, and the only other team that knows us as good, were the Good Guys. So, speaking from experience, being across the ring from the guy, knowing everything that he's got in his arsenal, knowing that I know he hits hard, I know he hits fast, I know he's unpredictable, I know that just because he's found this newly, frat persona, and he's just embracing of who he was in college about 10 years ago. Just because he's on this new wavelength, he's riding this new wave of this personality. It doesn't mean that he's not extremely capable of some ultra violence. Now, the guy has one of the nastiest Saito suplexes in the game.
The nastiest.
I took it on flat ground, outside of the ring, right on the top of my head. I know better than anybody, and I weigh a lot more than Jake Ely. Like, if we're gonna be shoot, like I might have like damn near 100 pounds on Jake Ely.
Yeah.
So, Thundercock or not, Thunder Thimble, Thundercock, Thunder Chode, I don't think that he's capable, or that he's gone up against somebody who's capable of this type of violence, this type of offense. I'd pick Frat Daddy all day long in this fight.
Yep. I got you. And Dustin Alexander, we're going to get to your match very soon, buddy. I see you. We'll get to you. We'll get to you.
I'm excited to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's we're saving the best for last, because I mean, but anyway, we're talking about, this is going to be a very, very entertaining, what a combination, man. The athleticism of these two, the character work, the entertainment work. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to have the place rocking. Have we heard from Scott Baxter and his expert opinion yet? Because I'm all over the place over here.
I haven't given my prediction, gentlemen, but I'll go ahead and give it now. And I'm going to go ahead and label it my detail for this match. Thunderbird Jake Ely is going to be very focused coming into this match. But I believe the Frat Daddy does get taken lightly sometimes. And I feel like he will that night. I feel like people underestimate the Frat Daddy. This is a man that's beaten the former two-time Real Shoot Wrestling Heavyweight Championship contender Mad Dog Zach Myers in Connecticut. He can go. He's got skill, and he's got a suplex that has finished several champions in Real Shoot Wrestling. I'm going to pick the Frat Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
It almost finished me personally, permanently.
And that's a good point. Both of these guys are too slept on. Jake Ely been killing it in Ohio. He's held a title up there for a long time. He comes down here,
Absolutely.
the fans disrespect him, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's always out to prove something. Frat Daddy been impressing the hell out of me since day one. But recently, it just seems like it's been kicked up into another gear. He's firing on all cylinders, kicking ass. I'm not betting against Frat Daddy. Frat Daddy it is. Frat Daddy all day. I would not be surprised if he doesn't have some sort of championship gold within the next, I'm going to say, 3 months. Because dude is too good. Can't be denied any longer. Whether it be tag gold with Mad Dog, whether it be the internet title, world title, AEW title, if they give him a shot, if the pussy Tony Khan would give Frat Daddy a shot, but he won't, but that's cool because we have him,
And
he's ours, and we're happy to fucking have him.
Oh yeah.
And if I may, gentlemen, just a little extra tidbit here. The Frat Daddy is coming off of a win on a wild 4-way match in New Kensington, Pennsylvania at the last Real Shoot Wrestling event that contained Tag Team Champion Brother Duzin and the Internet Championship contender Gannon Green.
Yup, and up and coming new start to the game, Jason Hendricks, baby. And,
absolutely, yes.
that
I
was
left that part out. I apologize.
One of those world famous RSW fire ass 4-ways. Watch that match on the channel as soon as this broadcast is done. What a fucking match. All 4 of those guys killed it. Awesome match. Let's give Frat Daddy his due. He's winning. On to bigger and better things. Who hasn't made a prediction?
I have not. I'll just go ahead and say Frat Daddy is going to be victorious in this match.
Yep. All right. There you go.
Well,
we have that.
But you
still
have to get my prediction. You trying to cut me off. I didn't get my prediction. Fuck.
Have at it.
Well, I'm going to make mine real simple, guys. I kind of refer to that guy jokingly as Hornswoggle. So it's Hornswoggle versus Tristan St. Croix, and I'm going to give you a one-word answer to tell you who I think is going to win. You ready for this? U-Haul.
Okay, I know what you mean.
That's it.
That's up for
That's all I got. That's all I got. U-Haul. There's your winner. U-Haul.
There you go. And like I say, it's up for moment of the year. He could leave in the year with another win and an award. End of the year awards coming up real soon. You're gonna find out who won. Get your votes in. Don't get your votes in because there's already been plenty of votes. But vote if you want to. I don't give a shit. It's a crazy time to be an RSW fan. You know that. We've got women's action coming up. Slight card change, and that's okay because we've got Evelyn Sage against it was just announced today. I know it's Journey. Come on, Scott Baxter. I know you got me.
Burke, right?
Journey Burke, it is absolutely. Yep. It's a substitute debut. We were actually going to have the debut of Talise Starseeker against Evelyn Sage. Unfortunately, could not make the event. We do have Journey Burke not only taking her place, but also making her RSW debut. And what an opponent she does it against, the mama of the murder, Evelyn Sage.
Ooh, and she been on a roll. You guys have at it. Talk away. Talk about it. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds because I got some craziness over there here I got to handle. Give your opinions, moderate yourselves, and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, who wants to go first?
Who hasn't gone first?
Lawrence. I believe Lawrence has never gone first on one of these. Lawrence, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. I'll be happy to step in and go first for the first time. I really like what Evelyn Sage brings to the table. Highly gifted, very talented in the ring, great presence. I love when the music she walks out to, the promos she does with the murder. Like I've just become a really big fan of her. I think the music for her walkout music like personifies her perfectly. Very talented in the ring. I'm really looking forward to this. It'd be nice to see her wrestle again, but also to see Journey Burke, I believe her name is, make her RSW debut. But I'm just going to give my prediction, and I think Evelyn Sage is going to win, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it feels like towards the end of this year, it's really been, and I mentioned this when I was able to hop on there with Brother Duzan, and we interviewed him recently. I think it's the tail end of this year seems like the year of the murder. And I think going into 2023, RSW is going to really experience what the year of the murder really means. That's my prediction.
Outstanding, outstanding. Referee, not only referee, I apologize, but senior official, James Simpson. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. I have to agree with Lawrence. I believe that right now, in the end of 2022, this is the time for the murder. Now, I'm going to put an asterisk beside that for later, and I'll explain why when we get to it. Evelyn is one of the most dangerous women on our roster. Like Lawrence said again, her song says it best. She's the devil in disguise. She is a very dangerous woman. And with Journey being I believe she's a relative newcomer to professional wrestling as well. Correct, Scott?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. And she is obviously, this is her debut in RSW. I don't think that she knows exactly what she's in for on Saturday night in Monongah, West Virginia. I can guarantee you, because I have again been in the ring with Evelyn Sage during her matches, and Journey is not, I don't think, is ready mentally. She can be physically ready all she wants. She can, put all the mat time in all she wants before Saturday night. But if she is not mentally ready, Evelyn Sage, Billy Knox, and Brother Duzan are going to get into her head and just put up their apartment.
Nope.
They're just going to live there rent free for the rest of the night. And she will not be able to get out of her head with Evelyn Sage.
Yeah, you got to have your wits about you. You got to be a brave person to step in there when the murder's in the house. She don't know what she's in for. It's a scary night for her. Welcome to the business. Welcome to RSW. Welcome to the murder. Yeah, Evelyn Sage all day on this one. But go ahead, fellas. I just had to interject that.
Marcus Twist, go right ahead.
See, like I'm not really familiar with who's new, who's debuting, who's coming in. I don't have to do that kind of research now that I'm no longer employed at RSW. I normally do an overabundant amount of research on everybody on the roster, but now that I'm not in the picture, I don't have to worry about that. Now, speaking from a fan standpoint and understanding the predicament that these two ladies find themselves in, Evelyn Sage has the support of the current tag team champions. We know a murder of crows. They acts together, and that's not unlike Billy Knox and the rest of the murder. Just based on that, the edge of having the numbers alone is enough to play a psychological game in this match. We're not even talking about the physical aspect. We're talking about just the psychological part. Having a huge man like Billy Knox in your corner, and you have Aaron Duzan is, he's Aaron Duzan. We've seen what he's capable of. We see they come out in the masks. We see them with the smoke and the staffs and it's all extremely intimidating. Now we know Journey Burke is brand new, not only to probably something along those lines, because who goes up against an entire cult on their debut?
Yeah.
But she's brand new to real shoot wrestling. She has no idea what she's in for. With this being a debut and going up against a tough opponent who has plenty of experience, who has an entire posse that's borderline supernatural, that I know that their camp is extremely tough. That's who beat us for the tag titles. I got to put over the murder in almost every way. I do agree that this could very well be their year coming up. And I'll say that Evelyn Sage is going to take the win on this, just based on experience alone.
Yep.
Gentleman, Journey Burke not being given much of a chance here, and I have to admit it's rightfully so. The Murder have never been too far from Evelyn Sage during any of her matches so far in 2022 Real Shoot Wrestling. And I know, Lawrence, you've been in attendance. Lou, you've also been in attendance. Mr. James Simpson, you've obviously been in the ring or at least in the locker room. And Mark, you're very close to this situation, as you've actually saved a couple women from a post-match beatdown by all members of the Murder, not just Evelyn Sage.
Last time we was in Monongah.
Saturday Night Special came out and saved Nurse Micah, and she returned the favor by coming out with Saturday Night Special and giving us our own edge coming into that tag title match later on that night in Monongah. So we even the playing field by helping out, but that's the thing. Journey has no friends in that locker room. She's brand new. There is no Saturday Night Special to come out and save her. There is no backup in the back. Right now, she's an outsider. I know how tough these guys can be. I know the games that they play. I know just as good as anyone else does how difficult that can be. And whenever you don't have any backup at all, that automatically puts you at a disadvantage. And that could lead to a potential injury depending on how the Murder is feeling that particular night. Maybe they do leave you in the ring land, but they could do far, far worse.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. For my pick, I'm going to have to agree, Evelyn Sage. But my detail is going to be in the experience edge of Evelyn Sage. Not only that, she is deceptively devious and dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, I don't think it ends the way we all think, gentlemen, because I believe the Murder are going to have their hands full preparing for their match later in the night.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. And we're going to get into that. Has everybody made their predictions for the Sage and Journey match?
We have.
All right.
So,
Let's talk about it. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and segue into it, and then we'll get to Zeke and what we think's going on with Zeke. But we got the Tag Team Gauntlet. I couldn't be more excited. If this one will be talked about for years to come. There's no doubt in my mind. The Murder has invoked the Freebirds rule. Instead of Phineas McMichael, let's go ahead and slide in Brother Duzan, because dude has been shining like a diamond. It's his time. Put him in the big match. Duzan Billy Knox, the unappreciated, coming off. We know what happened to New Kensington. I'm not going to get into that since Brother Marcus is with us. We also have the Violent Party. Very focused, very talented, ton of experience. And, we got somebody else, too. Oh, Brotherly Love. Just coming
you just had them on your show, Lou.
I know. That's how loaded this match is. Not to mention, they just won the IWC tag titles last weekend in a huge pay-per-view. Couldn't be happier for those guys. This match is going to kick so much ass. Talk about entertaining. Talk about a volatile situation. I can't wait. Let's start with Scott Baxter. What do you think, man?
It is an absolutely loaded match. It is a loaded match, I'd like to say, full of wild cards as well.
Yep.
And here are all of those wild cards, gentlemen. Number one, Brotherly Love, yet to win a tag team match here in West Virginia. They have won one match, the previous event for Real Shoot Wrestling in New Kensington, but that was by disqualification.
Mm-hmm.
Phineas
also in
McMichael
Pennsylvania,
attacks
my friend.
them
You
with
said in West Virginia.
the exact thing that got Phineas McMichael banned from this event.
Okay.
Brotherly Love now coming off 2 wins, one by disqualification, and they faced the Murder already, but now the new IWC Tag Team Champions coming off a huge win. I would also like to point out, Spooky Lou, multi-team tag match.
Yep. And also, they're undefeated in IWC. I believe they're either 10 or 11-0 right now. So they've been rocking and rolling in PA.
Not only that, this match has the Violent Party. Violent Vance Desmond has been an everything you could expect out of a veteran in the sport of professional wrestling. He has been all over this great country, facing some of the best wrestlers that have been produced in the sport during his career. And you pair him off not only with a former tag team champion at Real Shoot Wrestling, not only a former internet champion here at Real Shoot Wrestling, a student of his, Dustin Alexander.
Been on a roll since he came back, too.
Absolutely.
Actually, I'd like to point out,
Better
too,
than
that
ever.
from the podcast with those two, not just a student, his star pupil, he called him.
Yep. Back to Scott, sorry.
Exactly. And it's funny you mentioned that, Lou, because another pupil of Violent Vance Desmond in this match, Logan Taylor of the Unappreciated, him and Trevor Gade, since joining the guidance of Bake, have been undefeated. They've only lost one match as a whole as a tag team, and that was to the Murder, but that was with Phineas McMichael.
Right?
Mm.
Another star pupil in the match, be it ringside. Let's not forget about Nicolia. Watch her.
Nicolia, a dangerous wild card in this, and an X factor for the Violent Party.
Yup. Damn. Damn it. Like, I don't know about these picks.
Well, gentlemen,
Let's
after,
just try to break down this
after
match a
you hear
little
all
bit.
these details, who's got predictions?
Let's go to Marcus Twist, the tag team expert. What do you think about these teams before? Because I need to hear some breakdown of this match, some discussion before we even try to make predictions. We need to discuss
Absolutely,
this one.
Marcus. I think you would have the greatest opinion, being you are very personal in this match. You lost your tag team championships to the Murder and lost your tag team partner and your job due to the Unappreciated.
Oh, brother. We've talked about variables since I got on the show, since the beginning of the night. There's a lot of mixed emotions, and I need to look at it. I'll look at it as a professional, and I'll give my honest opinion, and then I'll look at it from the situation that I'm in. I'll give you both sides of this. As a professional, as a tag team connoisseur, I've gone up against 3 out of 4 of these teams. I can tell you that the Murder is coming in. I would say it almost as a handicap. We've seen Billy Knox tag with Phineas McMichael. We know what they're capable of. I know what they're capable of firsthand. They're capable of winning matches. And they win them in a brutal and technical and like a downright whatever they need to do is how they're going to win these matches. They come in hot. There's a reason why they're the tag champs. Now that being said, I know that Brother Duzan is a he's got plenty of experience in these multi-man matches. We've seen him do some of the craziest stuff RSW's ever had happen since its founding. These 4-way matches, he's got the experience of a man that has to worry about more than one opponent, but does he have the experience of a guy that needs to have a partner, watch his partner's back, and watch 6 other people? So that's the variable. That's the hidden there. We'll see if they can pull it off together, because I know that they've made their original debut in Pennsylvania wasn't even at RSW. They came up for the War for Territory, with Eclipse, with AON, months and months back in Altoona, and I had seen Billy Knox and Brother Duzan tag them. They didn't pull off the victory then. So, I mean, like, just as a prediction, just as some foreshadowing, that puts them at a disadvantage because they're not as experienced as a team. Brotherly love. These guys are experts at their craft, only being in for 15 months. They've gone up against some of the best tag teams in the business. They beat one of the best unsigned independent tag teams for the IWC tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
That was just recently. That's last week. They're coming off one of the biggest wins of anyone's career in the business. At that independent level, wrestling at IWC, taking out TME for their belts, holding the same belts as Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yep.
They're wrestling royalty now until the end of time. Their names are in the record books forever, and it's because they're capable of winning these big matches. They were just in one of the craziest high pressured situations that you could probably ever be in.
Yep.
Just because of the legacy of those belts, just because of that being a multi-man match and being just like a no holds barred, ridiculous. Like I watched it. It was a great match. It's a great win. It's something like coming off of something like that. I feel like they'd be capable of anything.
Yep.
And from wrestling them myself, I know the brotherly love will do absolutely anything they can to just continue to add to that resume of theirs. So they're hungry. They're new in their career. They're ready for more gold. I mean, they got 2 belts already. I feel like we could see them collect another one. They're just as likely to win as anybody else.
Marcus,
Now,
if I may interrupt, Marcus, really quick, does it concern you that they come into this match as the only tag team that does not have a manager?
Oh.
Mm.
well,
Good point.
here's an interesting tidbit here.
Oh yeah.
There's a very good chance that Dior Castro could be in their corner, and we just don't know.
Okay.
Mm.
And
There is a third man to brotherly love.
if I
That's
may,
he's yet to make his RSW debut.
if anybody watched the podcast, I did get the scoop on the manager situation this Saturday with Brotherly Love. It will
I
not be
listened to it.
Castro. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you.
I
But
watched it as well, but I don't remember about the manager. Sorry.
okay.
There's a little surprise. There's a member of Brotherly Love that has yet to debut,
Mm-hmm. Yup.
and that member, because we already know it's not Dior, but we do know that there's a third. So we already know that Brotherly Love can function with a third on the outside.
Yup.
But we have no idea who this third person is.
But they
So
assured
it's
me
all-
they're bringing back up.
You can't finish the equation because you don't know what they're bringing with them. We know they'll have Cheese Whiz, they'll have their big mouths, they'll have their weird shoes and even weirder pants. And I'm sure they're going to have fuck West Virginia shirts with a PH, respectively. But we don't know who that third person is.
But they assured me. Yep.
The tag team that I have the utmost heat with, obviously, out of these 4.
Mm.
And I'll talk about it respectfully, and then I'll talk about it disrespectfully.
Okay.
So we have the unappreciated. We got Logan Taylor. We got Trevor Gage. We got Bake on the outside. Now, what we know there is these guys will stoop to the lowest of lows to get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we understand. That's what we've seen from them in the past. We've just seen it recently. It's the reason why I'm not at RSW anymore. Why Saturday Night Special isn't a tag team. Now, with that being said, they function so well as a team, and they're capable of winning. We know that as a team. With that outside interference from Bake, which I'm sure it'll happen, are they going to be able to throw everyone else off their game? Because everybody will have a third. This is technically, like, if you want to get real crazy with it, it's a 12-man tag match.
Right.
This is 12 bodies.
Yep.
Out there at the same time. This is not your ordinary average like 4-way dance. This is a 12-man fucking thing. I don't think Bake is capable physically to hold up with some of the other people that we're going to see in the corners of these other teams. I think he's at a physical disadvantage. I think that he can't run his mouth loud enough to throw the other teams off of their game. Yeah, he might be able to pull a fast one, but I mean, like, relatively speaking, out of all the people that we know of that'll be there, I think Bake has the least experience out of all the managerial people in these roles.
Huh.
Because like he's still relatively new to managing. I know that he's been announcing for a long time, being a scumbag. He's been working on it for years, but has he been a manager for that long? It's brought success to them before, but it's still, we're talking, it's only been a couple months.
Right. Good point. Good point. And maybe, I'm glad you brought up that point. Maybe that's why Tim Cross made this a gauntlet match, so you don't have that many bodies out there. And it's going to be really the luck of the draw. Who comes out first? Who beats that team? Who comes out next? If I'm one of these teams, I'm hoping and praying I come out last and I can pick the bones. A perfect scenario, you beat somebody, they get pissed, they hit you with a chair, beat your head in, you leave, and boom, my entrance music hits. I come out, 1, 2, 3, easy victory, new RSW Tag Team Champion. So there's talk about a night of variables. That's a crazy variable that's going to make this match stand on its own. It's going to be chaotic, but as referee James Simpson said earlier, it's a controlled chaos. Thank God it's not everybody out there at the same time, because that venue's just not big enough, for one, to have all those managers, all those bodies. The cops and fire marshal will probably shut us down, because that's too crazy. Since we're talking about rules, regulations, things of that nature, James Simpson, what do you think, man?
Okay, now you're going to have to come along with me at a certain point here, because I am going to spin a yarn.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Let's
All
spin it.
right, first and foremost, let's look at some of these tag teams. Let's look at the Violence Party of Vance Desmond and Dustin Alexander. Again, like you said, they are the wrestling father-son. They are like-minded in the ring because Vance molded him. And that can be very good for them in the long haul, and they can also be very bad, because tag team wrestling goes very well when there's like a big guy and a fast guy. When you have two very technically sound wrestlers in the ring together, it can go very well, but it can also be a detriment to you as a team. Brotherly Love, they have a hot hand right now. Like you said, Lou, they just won the IWC Tag Team title. And they have that question mark, whoever that may be, coming with them that's going to stand in their corner. Now, the murder, when Phineas McMichael was the tag team champion along with Billy Knox, they were an unstoppable, dangerous force. My concern with Brother Duzan, as talented as he is, he's going to be the smallest man in this match. Considerably smaller, even compared to, Logan Harris of the Unappreciated. That might end up being a detriment to them as the tag team champion. Now, with the unappreciated, you have 3 men who feel like they have been slighted by the higher powers of Real Shoot, Tim Cross, and his collective that he has around him. And the thing is, Lou, you had Bake on, what, about a month ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he was telling you the story about him doing first show he ever worked for Real Shoot Wrestling in the 8th Street churches, yes?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the first one, he did not mention this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell a story. When he was part of the Real Shoot Facebook group, I was part of that group as well, and I hung out and I could see rest comments when necessary. When he started, I was one of the first 3 sets of hands he shook when he walked through that door. It was Tim Cross, it was another fellow, and then it was me.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Bake have been really close. Like we are thick as thieves when we talk, outside of discussing anything in wrestling. I refereed Logan Harris when he first started here in Real Shoot Wrestling, when we were back down there at the church when he was wrestling Steven Skies in that 3 Stages of Hell match. That was just, it tore the house down then.
Okay.
The thing with them is they are starving. They're not hungry, they are starving. They feel like they have been held back for so long that they are doing anything they can, no matter the underhanded means, whether it's messing with Saturday Night Special when they were a team. Sorry about that, Marcus. I do apologize.
No, it's okay. Shitheads. I hope all 6 of those guys beat the ever-loving shit out of all 3 of them.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be a devil of a match. Now, back to a previous comment I made earlier, where I said we're going to put a pin in the ear of the murder. With my fear with, like I said, my fear with Brother Duzan is his size in this match. With him being the smallest man, I feel like he's going to be a very easy target to divide and conquer, no matter if it's with Brotherly Love or the Violence Party or even the Unappreciated. They being the murder, need to be mindful that Brother Duzan is part of the oh my God moment for being thrown out of the ring like a lawn dart. Okay, there is another video running around on Facebook in the reels. If you'll go after the show and check those out, of Frat Daddy doing his Saito suplex, as Marcus said, and picking him up like a rag doll and just chucking him like he weighed nothing.
But he came right back and was flipping around that ring like a god.
Agreed.
Yeah, he did.
He knows no, and I was getting to that. He knows no pain.
Nope.
That can be very good for them. This match is an honest to God toss up. All 4 of these teams deserve to be tag team champions right now.
Yep.
Hands down. Say what you will about all these teams, they can be grating on the nerves. And there's been times when I've been refereeing his matches where I want to pull him by his beard over that rope. I'm going to be real with you. But all 3 of these teams are hungry to win the title. The Murder are hungry to keep it. It's going to be. This is my match of the night.
Yep.
Because it's 8 men who deserve to be here.
Yep.
In this match. And I don't know if it's going to be me officiating this match or one of the other fine officials here at Real Chic Wrestling, but the referee's going to have his hands full for that night
Yeah,
with this match.
I wouldn't
That's
want that job.
on a side note. We obviously need to have a discussion about something that no one's touched on. Now, I listen to the podcast a lot. I didn't get to really touch base on Mr. Violent Vance Desmond and Dustin Alexander.
Okay.
So I listen to the podcast a lot. It's no surprise. I talk about it. I promote it. They made an extremely valid point, and this is going to lead up to who, the reason why I pick who I'm going to pick. Besides the obvious, we got a beef with the murder. It's primarily squashed. I don't have an issue with it. I don't work there anymore. I hope the unappreciated gets the shit kicked out of them. That's my unprofessional opinion on this whole thing. Professional opinion on the Violent Party. They talked on the podcast. We have Vance sitting at almost 700 matches in his career. An extremely decorated veteran and debatably the best shape of his life. That has been an OVW. He's done tons of stuff for every fed that you could think of all over the place. He doesn't want to waste his bump card. So this guy's every move that Vance makes is going to be calm, cool, collective. He's going to have a laser-like precision with this match. And then we have Dustin. Dustin Alexander is, that's the student. We have the student and the teacher on the same team. And we've seen Dustin Alexander, although he may have came up short in the past, more recently, we've seen him do some amazing things. Gone above and beyond in the matches that he's had with Zeke Mercer. He's had his first match back was against Remy LeVay for the Internet Championship. You can't sleep on either one of these guys that potentially, in between the two of them, have damn near 1,000 matches under their belt.
Yeah.
If anybody is experienced with every match type possible, and if anybody knows each other as good as you possibly could, it's student and teacher. It's these guys that have traveled all through the tri-state, and they've dominated, and they've been big names to go up against time and time and time again. They can bring themselves into a high-pressured situation with cool, calm, and level-headedness. It would almost be a cardinal sin to not pick the Violent Party.
Wow.
For who's going to win these tag belts.
Yeah.
It's just it's the most obvious answer to any outsider, to anybody who knows all four of these teams. But in a professional opinion, being predominantly a tag team wrestler myself, I would be more nervous going up against the two of them than I would going up against any other team. And I've won and lost to these other teams. I've won against them. I've lost against them. I've gone up against them. I know the ins. I know the outs. I've done my studying. These two guys are guys that I've never had to study. I never had to worry about it. But that's the new threat here at RSW.
Yep. And I'm thinking about some of those teams as well in my head. Obviously, the Unappreciated, been on a roll, a chip on their shoulder. The Murder, it's been the year of the Murder. They are just getting better every show, killing, dominating. But let's go back to New Kensington. The Murder against Brotherly Love, just a straight up brawl all over the building. And I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers. I'm going to hurt some feelings here. But why get yourself disqualified? I think I think they were nervous. I think they saw those belts slipping away. That match was back and forth, back and forth.
Mhm.
Why go and get yourself disqualified when you're on such a roll, when you've been proving yourself? They felt a threat in brotherly love. I'm not
I
making my
can,
pick yet, but go ahead.
I can
The
answer.
reason why
I can,
you go ahead,
um,
Marcus.
coming from experience as a tag team guy, the easiest way to retain those titles when you're backed into a corner is a count out, a disqualification. If you end up being disqualified, even if the other team wins, you still retain those belts. They don't get traded over.
Right.
What the murder had is a will to survive.
Yep.
It was the first title defense they had, and it's against one of the toughest teams to ever come out of the IWC's training camp.
The hottest
Uh,
team on the Indies right now.
one of the hottest teams in the Indies. These guys are decorated. They're undefeated in the Lions' Den of IWC.
Yeah.
And you're in their home. That's their home. New Kensington is their backyard.
Yeah.
You
Right.
come in expecting one thing and having minimal experience with teams that are from out of town. We wrestle a lot in Pennsylvania. We travel. We've had the experience with Brotherly Love. That's probably why we had the success we had against Brotherly Love. The murder, however, at least not to my knowledge, outside of Duzan and Billy, but I've never seen Phineas and Billy venture out and wrestle in Pennsylvania, especially against a totally different team, a totally different area, a totally different style. I mean, like you factor in all those things, and Brotherly Love on their hot streak on their home turf. That you got to do what you got to do to hold on to those belts, and that desperation might be the edge they need for this match coming up.
The murder definitely going to be tested this Saturday. And do you guys think this is almost a punishment for what they did in New Kensington? Do you think Tim Cross is punishing them? Hey, you want to pull a DQ bullshit finish and keep your belts? That's kind of, I mean, you put them up against three of the greatest teams in the game today. I look at it as you might as well strip them of the titles, because that's
Yeah.
Brother, those multi-man matches having won more recently for tag titles myself. It's everything is coming from every direction. It's hard to track it. It's hard to be able to look over your shoulder, even though you got two sets of eyes. You still have 2-3 other sets on you.
Yep.
You factor in managers into the situation. Anything could happen. That's what makes the match so unpredictable. Is literally anything can happen from any angle, from any team. Anybody could swoop in and win.
There we go.
Gentlemen, if I may interject, and remind everybody, it's not a fatal four-way tag match. It is a gauntlet match.
Yep.
Unless
I
the
was about to
murder
make that
do
point.
make it to the finals. Unless the murder make it to the finals, DQs will be in effect. Am I not correct, senior official James Simpson?
Yes, they will. That is correct. I was about to actually make the same point you are making right now. Now, I need y'all to understand that, like to Marcus's point, the murder keeping the tag belts. Yes, they kept the belts, but here's the thing: they don't care about the losers end of the purse. They can be disqualified every week. They'll keep the belts, right? And with the exception of this show, let's say they win this one, okay? Let's just say hypothetically they win. They can continue to get disqualified in other matches. They don't care about the money. They care about the pain. They care about dishing out the pain.
Yep. Good point.
Now,
let's shoot to the
I have a
And it's
predictions.
all about
real quick
spreading that message of Billy Knox. We've seen the murder. Here is an interesting point here to James's point, Real Shoot Wrestling Office has gotten a little tired of the antics of the murder. As I've mentioned earlier, Phineas McMichael banned from this event, not just because he initiated the disqualification in New Kensington, but he's also broken the fingers of Marcus Twist, Harleen Lopez, all of these nefarious tactics in injuring other members of the RSW roster. But one more extra point. If you've noticed, and I made the point earlier, managers galore, guys. Not only did Real Shoot Wrestling Office neutralize the championship advantage, they neutralized the numbers advantage as well.
Mm.
Now, I have a question. I mean, like, and this might be best answered by James. So, just to clarify, if the murder would happen to cheat and get disqualified, that takes them totally away from the titles. They drop the titles essentially.
Yes, that is correct. If they are, let's say it's Brotherly Love and the Murder as the first two teams out, okay? And Billy Knox does something to get disqualified. They lose the tag team titles. And then we will be guaranteed new RSW Tag Team Champion.
Yeah, this is definitely a form of punishment.
James, the question I have, though, is if the murder make it to the finals and then there is a disqualification, do they then retain?
I will actually need to discuss this with RSW owner Tim Cross and get a definitive answer on that.
Yeah, so there's a want to talk about variables.
In my opinion, they would be disqualified, and it would be a regular match rules. However, with it being gauntlet rules, it might be the team that they are against win the belts.
That's a very interesting dynamic, guys.
The gauntlet. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a very interesting dynamic because someone should have to be pinned, I think.
That's what you would think. It would have to go to pinfall or submission.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of tricky. That's tricky.
Yeah,
that's regardless of regardless of how this all plays out. I apologize. Just want to hurry up and just get that out there. Regardless of how this plays out, I can 110% I believe we can all agree at this point, all five men sitting here talking about manly man wrestling things. This is going to be one hell of an event. That match is going to be insane, balls to the wall. I'm excited to see the innovation. I'm excited to see what these teams are capable of. I'm excited to see the unappreciated get their asses knocked all the way back down to the bottom of the roster. I'm ready to watch it. If I didn't have such a grudge, I would buy a ticket and I'd be in attendance.
We'll get you the footage. Because this is can't miss. I mean, I can't wait. When the match graphic dropped, my jaw dropped when the match graphic dropped. This is insane. This is, again, one for the books, one we're going to be talking about years from now. Mark my words. 8 super uber crazy talented men willing to win at all costs. Who y'all got? We'll start with Lawrence. Who you got, Lawrence?
Hey, Lawrence. So I'm not going to try to spin too long a yarn because, man, we've been on this shit for a minute.
Yeah.
But I will say I do want to ask the other 4 esteemed gentlemen that I'm having the privilege of sharing this podcast with. Do any of you watch The Walking Dead?
No.
No.
I've watched the first 6 seasons, but I have fallen behind, admittedly.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to put it to you this way. A character is introduced, because I used to read the graphic novels too, and spoiler alert, it's my favorite show ever. So I'm sorry you guys didn't watch past season 6, or some of you didn't watch it. I think it's an amazing show. But anyway, they introduce a gentleman named Negan.
Yeah.
And even if you don't watch The Walking Dead, you know who the hell Negan is.
Yeah.
Negan is one of the most despicable characters they ever put on the show. Because the thing with The Walking Dead is they always run into factions, and it's all about we are the Walking Dead. It's not necessarily about the zombies. It's like what people will do to survive, right? So Negan does one of the most horrific things in the history of television. And he kills, spoiler alert for people that haven't watched it, sorry, you're going to get spoiled. He kills one of my favorite characters in the entire show. He's so despicable, he kills this guy right in front of his pregnant wife. And it's so violent and brutal on TV, you can see his eye pop out of his head when he beats him with a bat that is wrapped with barbed wire. So, why am I making this point? Lawrence, why are you making this point? Because I want to point out, I'm off my medicine. No, because there is a point to this. I'm getting around to this. So because of that, they, over the subsequent seasons, have tried to show his backstory. And like they took him in and they basically made him a prisoner. And they basically made him work for them and shit, the rest of the group that watched this horrific event take place. So he tries his best to become ingrained and become a family member, we'll call it, right? But the thing is, I don't give a shit what he does. I don't care if he saves people's lives in that show. I will never root for him. Here is my point. Out of these three teams, I can never, regardless of their accomplishments, ever pick the unappreciated. Because I watched that match. I don't give a shit if they rescue an old lady who's about to get hit by a bus. Good on them. Good on them for the deed. But I watched the New Kensington match. Couldn't be there in person, but watched it. And obviously, we've had our chance to talk to Marcus and how we felt about it, and how Marcus and Dee Dee really are a big catalyst that's driven this podcast to make it the success it is. So they're out of the picture. So I'm just not rooting for them, period. So with the remaining teams, you got Desmond, and you got Dustin, and then you got Brother Duzan, and you got and then you got the leader of the murder, Billy himself. I'm going to say, out of those two teams, I am going to pick the Violent Party. And the reason I'm going to pick the Violent Party is I'm going to give you another old adage that people go by. Experience is the best teacher. And we're talking about a teacher and a student, a star pupil relationship between those two. And I don't think we give enough credit to, like, the times I've watched Dustin. We talk about how strong some of the competitors are and the resiliency. Dustin's a pretty strong guy.
Yeah.
And seems to be pretty damn resilient. And then we talk about the experience and how it's the teacher of all things. Think of how many matches Vance Desmond has been in and how many matches collectively they have been in. All day long, I'm picking the Violent Party to walk out of there as new tag team champions.
That's hard to debate. And not just the experience. Vance Desmond is damn good and has been for years.
Yes.
James Simpson, who you got? Who you like?
Oh boy. Well, like Lauren said, you got the experience of Vance Desmond, which is hard, very hard to deny. And you know, with his wrestling son and Dustin Alexander, you know, who like mine, that's a very hard team to deny. Brotherly love again, the hot hand. Gotta love the hot hand sometimes. But to I believe it was Scott's point, their success rate in West Virginia is not the best. And now the murder, again, the question is, the Brother Duzan question keeps coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I fear that he is going to be the big question mark in this match. Now, I talked earlier about all four teams being very hungry. Yes, everybody can agree. I said everybody was hungry.
Oh, absolutely.
They want these gold belts. And as I said earlier, there's one team that feels like they are starving. and that's unappreciated. They feel like they feel like they have never been given a shot or even a fair shot, and they feel like they are the ones being punished, not the murder. As we've been all in agreement to that the murder's being punished for this match.
I agree. Yeah.
The unappreciated have said they feel like they are being, okay, you get your tag match, yeah, congratulations, but you're going to be in this gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the biggest point to prove this night. I honestly feel there's something in the air in the Steel City right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers are turning a corner this season. The Penguins are starting to pick it up. For some unforsaken reason, the Pittsburgh Pirates had the first draft pick this year, and there's people talking they're actually going to be halfway decent this year. There's something going on in the Steel City.
Kurt Angle's birthday coming up.
Kurt Angle's birthday is Friday, actually.
Live on SmackDown.
The day before the show. Mm-hmm. There is a something in the water in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The manager of the Unappreciated is a proud Pittsburghian. He's a proud Yenser. I honestly believe Saturday night there are going to be new tag team champions, and there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in that building. Because I feel like the Unappreciated are going to come out of that match victorious that night.
Okay.
Because something don't sit right with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Yeah.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it. Scott Baxter. You know it all, buddy. Tell us who's winning the belts. Or who's retaining
Gentlemen,
the belts.
it is an interesting match. I want to just touch on each little team here.
Do it.
First off, I want to start with brotherly love. If I may piggyback off of James Simpson's point just a second ago, the Philadelphia Eagles are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia Phillies were in the World Series just not last month, maybe the month before last. And I don't know anything about the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're terrible.
They're garbage. They're always garbage. They'll always be garbage. No matter they're even in the Stanley Cup Finals, they'll always be garbage.
And they are tag team champions coming into this match, not for Real Shoot Wrestling, but they finally gotten a taste of championship gold, nonetheless, also in a multi-man tag match. Now to move on, I'd like to touch on the Violent Party. Number 1, we talk about the experience edge of Violent Vance Desmond. What I'd like to point out is the physical edge that I think he has over every competitor. Violent Vance Desmond, despite being this seasoned veteran that we all mention him to be, full of experience, he's also one of the strongest members of the Real Shoot Wrestling roster. He's also one of the most athletic, which I think just speaks volumes of his dedication to the craft of professional wrestling. And on the flip side, you see, well, we've all mentioned his prize pupil, Dustin Alexander. Dustin Alexander, if I can give a little history lesson, former Real Shoot Wrestling Internet Champion. This is a man that's defeated the likes of former NXT roster member Anthony Green.
Yep.
This is also a former tag team champion here at Real Shoot Wrestling. The man has been here almost since the inception of the company, and he has proven he can go at every level. On the flip side, there is another former tag team champion coming out of the Violence Academy that doesn't feel like he's getting his respect, Logan Taylor, which is what sold him to Bake in the Unappreciated to begin with. The thing I think nobody's mentioned, we've mentioned Logan, we've mentioned Bake on the outside. Trevor Gage, I think, is going to come into this match with something to prove because he seems to be the most unappreciated member of that group.
Okay.
And if I could slide now to the tag team champions. We've all got question marks about Brother Duzan, smallest member of the match. But I don't think anybody's going to question this man's willingness to sacrifice his body for Billy Knox's message. He's up for the OMG Moment of the Year with his insane toss to the outside of the ring from Fairmont State University.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The man is willing to put himself through hell and high water. He's almost the embodiment of the phrase, look at what I'm willing to do to me. What do you think I'm willing to do to you?
Yep.
Agreed.
And
When you
then we-
mentioned that lawn dart again, I want to point out I was sitting in the back doing my duties as senior official, and I felt it in my feet.
Yeah. You can
Wow.
hear. Yeah,
I felt him
it.
hit. I felt it in my feet. You have to understand how hard he hit
Yeah.
for that to happen.
Just to piggyback real quick on what Mr.
Scott Baxter.
excuse me, what Mr. Baxter is saying is that I want to point out too that even though I'm like so sold on Violent Party, I don't want to dismiss the other teams and what they've accomplished. And certainly Brother Duzan, his heart and his ability to lay it on the line and his resiliency cannot be denied. And that's all I want to say.
Because he came back from that. He came back from that
Yes.
that we felt in our feet.
Yep.
Continue,
Exactly.
Mr.
That
Baxter.
man was tossed from the ring straight into the audience's lap, basically. I mean, he fell directly in front of the crowd,
Mhm.
Yep.
and he was able to finish wrestling that match. He got up and got back in it and said, that all you've got, because I want more.
Mm.
Yeah. And
then you get to the leader, Billy Knox,
Whew.
who has brought no shortage of violence to Real Shoot Wrestling. Gentlemen, you were in attendance for the dog collar match with Mad Dog Zach Myers.
Yep.
Yes,
You
sir.
were also in attendance when they won those tag team titles at Fairmont State University.
Yep.
That man has put a hurting on a lot of people.
To say the least.
So the whole match, the gauntlet really is the biggest wild card and the detail of the match. It's the luck of the draw. It's straight straws. I've now been informed that Brotherly Love will have a manager for this match. So now the championship advantage of getting disqualification has been removed from the murder. And now the numbers game has been removed as well. It's really anybody's match.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a wild card here. I'm going to pick, I'm going to go crazy outside. This is more heart than mind. I think Brotherly Love picks up the win.
Oh, okay. You can't, it's hard to debate anybody winning this.
Because everybody can be right. This
They
is the one
face
match
the murder.
tonight. And this is the one match on Saturday that no matter who in this pre-show picks, they can be right. And every point that they make for them, for their choice, is right. I mean, there's really no wrong choice.
Yeah. Agreed.
Marcus Twist, who's taking us into 2023 as RSW Tag Team Champions?
I think everyone's made like some extremely valid points, and I mean, like I've been a guest on this podcast. I don't even know how many times at this point.
Yeah,
like 3 or 4.
Not enough,
always,
sir. Not enough.
Yeah, I I can always come back. I'll just pop in through the back door. But I always like preach about the any given Sunday rule. Even though I'm not a big sports ball fan, but I think that anybody is capable of walking away RSW Tag Team Champions. Like out of this group, everyone's made really valid points. Everyone's tried to put this all together the best that we possibly can with everything that we know, all the information that we have. I have to put an edge on the only team that I don't have personal hands-on experience with. Just because of the kind of experience they're bringing to the table, they're such a decorated tag team. The Violent Party.
Yeah.
These guys have accomplished a lot individually. They're beginning to accomplish a lot as a tag team. I think that they're capable of great things. While I don't deny that this 2023 might be the year of the murder, I don't deny it whatsoever because they've been making some huge moves. But I'm pretty sure that the Violent Party is more than capable of having their own little leap year. They're more than capable of being able to go above and beyond and shoot in their own way, past the murder, in a totally different direction. They're coming from behind. They're coming from the very back with the most experience. I mean, I feel like they're going to shoot past everybody. They're going to surprise everybody and come into 2023 as RSW Tag Team Champions.
There you go. Okay.
That's my only regret is that we won't be able to wrestle. That's because I wish I did have that hands-on experience. Because out of all these teams, these are two guys I personally look up to.
Okay.
So I mean, maybe we get them somewhere else. That's a look down the road. I'm not worried. This ain't about me. This is about these 4 teams. It's not about what I want, but I hope that my predictions are correct. These guys walk out with the titles.
Well, it's a privilege and an honor, Marcus Twist, to have made the same prediction.
If I may make an interesting point, gentlemen, while they may bring the most collective experience to the table, they do have the least amount of experience as a tag team together.
Yep.
Okay.
I
actually wanted to make a point too, and I don't know. I would need my man Mr. Baxter here on fact checking me, but as far as I know, at least the times I've seen Brotherly Love, have they won in RSW?
Not yet.
No, they did get the win by disqualification against the Murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have not picked up a clean victory.
Right. So they technically haven't got the 1, 2, 3, correct?
No,
absolutely correct.
I think that's something we might need to think about as well. Yeah. Maybe that's something we need to think about as well.
And who knows what would have happened in that match if it would have continued without, the weapons and the disqualification. They very well could have walked out of New Kensington with the belts. So I'm super glad they're getting another shot at the titles. I'll go with my prediction. I've been listening to you guys, and I've been going, okay, well, maybe that team will win. Well, okay, maybe that team will win. I'm super conflicted because this is a tough one. Again,
the magic of pro wrestling, sir.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to all feel it. We're going to all feel it, Monongah, this Saturday. And, again, it's going to be luck of the draw. It's going to be who wants it most. The Murder. On a roll, just dominating fools, just killing and taking names later. What Brotherly Love, undefeated in IWC, and they're not going against no chump teams, just won the tag titles. Back to the Violent Party that we obviously all love and respect. Recently put together, you take these 2 singles guys, make a mega team, they're on a roll. I really don't know. So I'm going to say I don't know. I really don't.
You can't do that speculative bullshit. You gotta make a pick.
He's so indecisive.
Dude, this one's stacked. This one's hard to call.
Okay. It sucks too because you can't flip a coin because there's 3 fucking teams.
Yeah, I thought that. Could I flip a coin?
You gotta flip a 4-sided die, dude.
Yeah, some Dungeons and Dragons.
How dare you not prepare for your own podcast with a 4-sided die?
No, it's not just now. I've thought about this one since it was announced, and I can't pick a team. Again, it's going to come down to luck of the draw, and you know what? Fine. If I've got to pick, it's hard to deny Brotherly Love right now, man. It's hard to deny.
Oh, wow.
They're on such a roll.
Yeah, it's a good pick. It's a great pick.
I'm curious. Can we recap? So me and Marcus are on Violent Party. How are we picking here?
Okay, you guys got Violent Party, Scott Baxter.
Brotherly Love, I do believe, can sneak
Oh
out
yeah, that's right.
a victory.
Yep.
Okay, and James Simpson.
And I'm going with the unappreciated.
So
We're pretty split in this one.
if it's up to
Yeah,
us,
bro.
if it's up to
Like I
us,
said,
we got new tag
everybody
champs.
has valid points for their picks in this match. This is literally a pick 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I'll
really
pick
is.
anybody other than the unappreciated. I don't care who wins, as long as it's not
Agreed.
them.
Hey, remember what I said about Negan? Agreed.
Yep. There you go. And hey, and that's not all, folks. That's not all. A big thing, very intriguing part to this card that we've got to go into. What is next for Zeke Mercer? So I guess whenever we get into the predictions, we're going to predict who's going to fight him, because I guarantee you Zeke's not going to show up and not fight. I know Zeke too well. And talk about somebody that's been on a roll for God knows how long. As long as I can remember, he's been RSW champion. What do we think about Zeke Mercer in 2022? Y'all have at it.
Who else is left for him?
Brother, who better to talk about Zeke Mercer than their workout buddy, Marcus Twist? I was just with Zeke Mercer earlier tonight at the gym.
Okay.
That's where I came from whenever I stumbled across the podcast and jumped on in here on the Discord. I could see Zeke coming out with a message, a recap of this year, the list of accomplishments, the things that he's managed to do, that they've managed to do, excuse me. You got the Jackson Argos match. You have winning the belt from, in that 4-way with Jason Kincaid. He went round for round with Jason. That's a huge thing.
Dustin Alexander.
Zeke has gone full feud with Dustin Alexander. Zeke's done O'Shea Edwards. He's done Lala. I mean, Zeke has this incredible list of people that they've just taken like leaps and bounds. They've been the underdog. Zeke's gone up against some of the craziest opponents, some of the craziest athletes in RSW. What I think they'd have is we're going to see a mystery opponent. We're going to see another high caliber opponent. MV Young, forgot about MV Young too. Yep. Beat MV Young. But we're going to see a mystery high caliber opponent that no one's going to be expecting, that's probably watched all of this and sat back and said, hey, what better time than now to show up while Zeke is recapping this wonderful year, all this list of accomplishments, all these great things. What better time than now to come in whenever they least expect it and try to take that title?
Yep.
And Zeke won't turn it down.
Right.
That's why we go in the gym, we bust our asses, we talk about the business, we talk about everything to become better wrestlers. Zeke's made me a better wrestler personally. I like to think that I've given Zeke some insight on, what I know about the business. But I think that it's just going to be this thing that comes out of left field, and I know that there won't be any challenges shut down.
Yeah.
So we're going to see something extremely interesting. I'm calling a mystery opponent. We're going to see a big one for this one.
For sure. And to add to your point there, what better time to swoop in than after that controversial finish in New Kensington? I know Lawrence is he's staying up at night pissed off about it.
I can't
We-
sleep at night, bro.
Zeke
We
about lost that
forgot
belt.
about Mad Dog too. Zeke's wrestled so many people that you can't even name them all, and they're all the biggest names in the indies right now around this area in the tri-state.
Zeke,
There are so many people that Zeke's beat since he's got this belt that, like, you can't even name them all. Like, I keep thinking of them as we go along talking about it.
but Zeke about lost that title in New Kensington. Zeke's gonna have to dig deep.
Dig deep, Zeke.
Dig deep, Zeke.
I want to clamor to Tim Cross and the powers that be. I want to see a Jackson Argos Zeke Mercer rematch.
For sure, it needs to happen. It's only fair.
Shit,
Yeah.
that very well could be a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Jackson Argos in Pittsburgh. Makes total sense.
Jackson.
Where would be the last place you would expect him?
Yeah.
Monongah, West Virginia.
He's pulled from the card. Zeke doesn't know who Zeke's fighting. So don't rule that out. Argos could be pulling some shit here. He could be like the masked Argos or something,
There we go. Sing from the rafters.
Scott Baxter, we need some expert analysis. We really got to think about this. What's going through your head?
Well, guys, I tried to ask Zeke Mercer earlier for an update, and if he had any new information for me, he told me he got a haircut.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So whatever it is being kept under wraps. I don't even know if Zeke Mercer knows himself or if he's decided on it, but I do know it will be can't miss.
Oh, yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, let's not let Zeke pick Zeke's opponents. Zeke's a fighting champion, but don't give nobody that power. Nah, we need to... I don't like the idea of Zeke picking his own opponent. Like I say, Zeke's a fighting champion, takes on all comers. Just me and Lawrence aren't too happy with Zeke after that last show in New Kensington.
Yeah. And I already picked his next opponent, Gannon Green, when he wins the internet belt.
There you go.
Gannon
Okay.
Green.
Hey, it could all happen in one night,
That is.
I'm matchmaking. I'm dream matchmaking. That's my dream matchmaking.
Yeah, you can't rule that out. There is. Although we may all think it's a slim chance, or I forget who picked Gannon Green and who picked Remy. But did anybody even think, or does anyone even know, if you win the internet title, can you just cash it in the same night?
I'm sure you
can. I don't know. James Simpson, we need you on this.
Simpson.
There's another question for a meeting that I need to have with Tim Cross.
I would assume so. I mean, if you have the balls
the ruling on the internet title is relatively new, so we're trying to, as far as I'm aware, we're still trying to figure out like time restraints on your ability to ask for your match.
But if I'm on the outside looking in, as I am, if somebody has the balls to win that belt and call their shot that night, let them go for it. I mean, I'm not Tim Cross.
Personally, if Gannon were to grab me like, hey, we're going, I would follow with him because this would be the first time ever. Regardless of whoever holds the internet title, it will be the first time ever they have cashed it in for a shot at Zeke Mercer.
Yep. Okay, well, let's say Remy retains and we just throw the internet title away, out of the scenario, because obviously if Remy was going to do it, Remy would have done it. What are you thinking, James Simpson? What are you thinking is going to happen this Saturday, Zeke Mercer RSW title?
With Zeke, who else is there left?
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, to your point, Lou, what would be wrong with him picking his opponent? Like you said yourself, he is a fighting champion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the fans love this man. Yep. He wouldn't pick a soup can. He would never pick a soup can. He would say, "Give me the biggest dog in the fight."
And I would usually say
give me the meanest person. Give me the meanest person you can find. I will beat them.
And I would usually say that up until New Kensington, I would have said that in a heartbeat. New Kensington just is left a bad taste in my mouth. And that's
I
not
threw
on
up in my
that's not
mouth a
even
little
on
bit.
Zeke either. That's not even on Zeke. That's on the way things went down, the referees and everything. But it is what
I have discussed everything with that official as well.
good. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, because that made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I sat down with that official and we went over that match.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you think, James, somebody's going to come from the outside? Are we going to give somebody another shot that came close?
I honestly, it's hard to tell. If I know Zeke the way that I think I know them, I think that they'll have somebody in mind that they want to face.
Yeah.
And they won't be like, give me him or I'll walk. No, they'll be like, okay, give me somebody comparable.
And you feel
You
Zeke
can't
will put the title.
give me A1.
I was just saying you feel Zeke will put the title on the line in this match as well.
And Zeke's a fighting champion. He would wrestle every day, twice on Sunday.
Okay.
Hey, boys,
I think we can all agree that Zeke is not scared, right? Like, he'll fight anybody. I mean, we talked about MV Young, Dustin. I mean, look at all the people he beat, Mad Dog, Zach Myers. Like, it's not that he wouldn't wrestle anybody. You know what I mean?
What's
he
up,
ain't
Marcus?
scared.
Zeke is all right. So, like, I got to take off because it's past my bedtime, right?
Yeah, we went way long.
I'll leave on this note. Knowing Zeke Mercer the way that I do and spending the time that I spend with Zeke Mercer, regardless of who we have coming in or what he would have to say about, the recap of the year, what Zeke decides to throw out there on the table. If somebody shows up to fight, I have just as much faith in Zeke Mercer as I have in DD Weiss.
Nice.
We've become that close. We're siblings here in this business. I believe that regardless, we're going to see something great. We're going to see something interesting. It's going to be a great show from an outsider's perspective now that I can say that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the recap. I don't want anybody spoiling anything. I'm going to tune in on YouTube just like a normal person would. I'm going to watch it all. Hopefully there's I feel like I'm going to pull a lot of right predictions on this.
No.
I'm glad I'm not putting down any money because anything can happen, but
right.
I feel like I pulled a lot of good predictions on this one. But that being said, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a pleasure talking to everybody.
Thank you.
And man, I'll have to jump back on sometime in the near future. You guys stay in touch.
Well,
oh yeah, man, you're always welcome, brother.
You be safe.
We appreciate
All right,
you.
boys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, boys, very much. Love you. Bye.
Love you, man. Later.
Love you, Bobby.
All righty, back to the four of us. What a nice surprise, Marcus Twist joining us, and
dude.
And we will have that on the RSW YouTube. Like he said, he'll watch it on the YouTube. That will be coming to the RSW YouTube. I've got a plan. But let's get back to speculating here. We haven't had a scenario like this in RSW in a while, where we're walking into a show and we don't know. We don't know what the main event is. We don't know what the title match is. We don't know how the year is going to end. Also, we've got another show coming up. Well, we've already talked for almost 3 hours. We'll do a whole nother pre-show on the new Ken show. But back to it. RSW Championship, Zeke Mercer. What's going to happen, fellas? Let's make predictions. Starting with Scott Baxter and go around.
Well, I'm low on information on this one, gentlemen, and I have to apologize for that. I've been caught off guard with this scenario, and they're keeping it under wraps. Whatever it is, Zeke Mercer has promised it will change RSW.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
It's going like that.
Change RSW. And talk about a company that's already went through a lot of changes this year for the better. Very, very much evolving, coming into their own. A lot of positive changes. So, if he's promises going to change RSW, that's already went through so many changes and has already been so elevated, I'm very curious. I can't wait to be ringside for this bad boy. Lawrence, what do you think?
The whole show. The whole show. It's. I mean, we've been talking about it ad nauseum. You could flip a coin on a lot of this shit. I mean, it's so many talented wrestlers in the ring. My pick with the Zeke Mercer thing. So intriguing the way he said it's going to change RSW, and we don't even know. We got our man on the inside, Scott Baxter. You found out only that Zeke got a haircut. Kind of let us down, Scott. I'm gonna tell you, you got the scoop that Zeke got a haircut. I just got a haircut today as well. I'll be sporting that bad boy in the new man bun when I show up at this at the arena. And I guess Zeke got a haircut. I got a haircut. I'm picking Zeke.
We're getting sexy on Saturday night. I can't wait.
Hey, whoever the hell Zeke's facing, we both got haircuts, man. There you go. I'm picking Zeke.
Okay. Senior official James Simpson. What are you feeling, man?
Oh, first off, let's continue with the trend. I think everybody's gotten a haircut this week because I shaved my head. I shaved my head yesterday, and it might need a little touch up before we go to Monongah on Saturday. But honestly, with Zeke, like I said earlier, it's really hard to tell what's going to be said by them. Like I said, they have no one left on this roster that they can wrestle for the first time, or quite honestly, the second time or the third. And what would be so wrong with, like Lou said earlier, bringing in his own opponent? Because he ain't gonna bring in a tomato can.
Yeah,
he's going to bring in top-notch talent, or say, hey, bring me in top-notch talent, A, B, or C. And if you can't bring me in A, B, or C, here's some more people.
Yep.
And Zeke has something on his mind, on their mind right now. And like you said, in New Kensington, something was different.
Yeah.
And no matter what, the fans are gonna love what he says.
And to touch on that a bit too, I watched another one of Zeke's matches recently that from New Ken, but not RSW, and Zeke definitely had a chip on their shoulder, giving the crowd hell. It was a different side of Zeke that I hadn't seen. So you can tell that New Kensington's kind of weighing on his mind. I'm very curious to see what's happening coming up this Saturday. What I plan.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's his. Maybe that's his Montreal.
There you go.
It's the bizarro world for Zeke. No one likes Zeke in New Kensington.
There you go.
Everywhere else, Zeke is loved except New Kensington.
There you go.
Maybe they're just leaning into that a little bit.
Good point.
And as far as one thing that we don't want to sugarcoat or let it be lost on deaf ears to the listeners, that like Spooky will always say, you're a damn trooper if you hung in this long. This fucker is long. Is how incredibly talented Zeke really is.
Oh yeah.
Like that dude can go, and like you said, who else do they bring in? I mean, he's pretty much wrestled the who's who. You know what I mean? Like who's next?
Who's next? That is why I assembled this expert panel, because this show is so unpredictable, so many variables. That's why I brought this crew together. Wink, wink. I might even invited Marcus. That way we had a wrestler's point of view. So, that's why I have assembled us all together for what I plan to be an hour show. And we're coming up on 3 hours. I was supposed to interview Huff Manley at 9. Huff Manley is nothing but a kind gentleman and has understood. So we're going to wrap this bad boy up. I'm going to give everybody a chance on final thoughts on Krampusmania and beyond. And we shall start with James Simpson this time.
The Krampus Mania is going to be the biggest show of this year.
Mm.
People will be talking about Krampus Mania 2 when Krampus Mania 6 rolls around.
Yep.
Mm.
Good point. Good point. And I like how you Bret Harted that and called it the Krampus Mania. I appreciate it. I got that. I see.
You see, because that Canadian influence. Now, in 2023, with RSW, it's open.
For sure. I'll dig it.
It's wide open.
I dig it. Lawrence, you'll be there live in attendance as a fan. What are your expectations? How do you feel about it?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited, man. I mean, to be honest, like I said, like I think you've got this, the audience should have gotten this all from all of us. Like flip a fucking coin. You know what I mean? Like these matches are going to be so good.
Yep.
Anyone can win. You know what I mean? Like some of our predictions may come true. Some of them won't. We might be surprised and shit and some of the outcomes. So I'm highly looking forward to this. And I'm just going to say for how this is going to be the last RSW show of the year. What they say going out, like, yeah, well, okay. Well, last one I'll be able to see anyway.
Okay.
But like the next two shows will definitely go out like a lion, not like a lamb, and like a fucking explosion and not a whimper for sure. It's going to be live. I'm super excited to see if any of my predictions come true and just see the wrestling talent, before me. And I do want to just point out, I want to take a moment to thank you and put some shine on you. And Tim Cross, if you listen, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, thank you for allowing Spooky to be able to put more videos up, because now that gives me more opportunity to watch more of this talent, whether they're still currently part of the roster or people that may be no longer part of the roster. So Spooky Lou, thank you so much for putting more matches up for someone that's become a fan this year, to allow me more access to be able to watch these people's body of work, man. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. And you're not the only one I've heard that from. We've got fans in Vermont that's messaged me, fans in White Plains, New York that's enjoying it. We just posted Matt Riddle match. Believe me, I've got some stuff in store. I'm going to start pumping these bitches out before the end of the year. Mad content dropping on the RSW YouTube, RSW Facebook, and of course the Wrestleroni channel. So thank you for that, Lawrence. And I will thank you for becoming a fan again, man. Not every company could do that. So if you used to watch WWE in 2018, you wouldn't have come back to wrestling. Timing is everything. Right. Everything happens for a reason. We're glad to have you as a fan. And thank you, brother. Let's turn it over to expert of all things, obviously, Scott Baxter. What do you think, brother?
Well, gentlemen, it's the last Real Shoot Wrestling show in the state of West Virginia for the year. Monongah, West Virginia, in Monongah Town Hall. I remember you two gentlemen were in attendance, and James was obviously there as the senior official. Mm-hmm. The last time we were in that building, it was a packed crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect the same thing. They were a loud, piping hot crowd, reacted every match. I expect it's going to be a full bang of a show. And if I'm not mistaken, there may be a ballot for you to vote on the Real Shoot Wrestling year-end awards.
Okay. Right there in Town Hall. If you're there live in attendance, you can still vote, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's going to be one of the great shows. It's going to have a lot of impact on next week's show, which will be the last show of the year for Real Shoot Wrestling as well.
For sure. I tell you what, I'm trying to wrap it up, but I just have one more thought. Match of the night. We'll start with Scott Baxter, work back around.
I'm going to call it, I think it'll be a sleeper match of the night. I think it's going to be the Frat Daddy versus the Thunderbird, Jake Ely.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Lawrence?
Wow. Match of the night. I'm going to go Gannon, Green, and Remy.
Okay.
I'm going to go Gannon, Green, and Remy LeVay. And the whole card is stacked, and it's going to be an amazing show. But if I got to pick a match of the night, Remy and Gannon.
James Simpson.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Saturday's gonna be a game of can you top this?
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's just okay.
It's literally gonna be whoever wins the match is gonna go up to the back, look at the next guy, and say top that, and walk back.
Yep.
Mm.
I'll go ahead.
So it's literally gonna be a toss up, but I honestly think it's going to be between the 14 Gauntlet and DD Vice and Tommy Irish.
That's just an absolute dream match for me, and I have to agree. If I had to choose the tag team gauntlet, just because there's so many variables, there's so much room for chaos in that one. But DD Vice and Tommy Irish, two of my favorites in RSW today. Obviously, the bond I have with Saturday Night Special. But again, the first time I saw Tommy Irish, I said, look at this fella. Watch the footage sometime on my YouTube. You can hear me talking to myself in the video. I was super impressed. So, super excited for this weekend. It's going to be one to be talked about forever. KRAMPUSMANIA II. If you're in the area, come on down to Monongah Town Hall. Get there early because I know it in my heart of hearts. It's going to sell out. We're going to have to turn people away. I'm thinking if they're smart, they'll raise the blinds on the windows and maybe sell discounted tickets where you can stand outside and look through the windows. And that's I don't know if that's allowed, but I'm for real with that because there's going to be so many people there. I'm in Monongah. On my way home tonight, somebody stopped me on the street, said, hey, I like what you're doing with Wrestleroni. When's that show? I told them. They said, I'll be here. It happens all the time when I walk around the city. Whenever I go to the dollar store, Circle K, they're talking about this show. The town is buzzing. So it's going to be hot. Let's not just talk about the crowd. The talent on hand is the top in the business today. I can't wait. I've been Spooky Lou, joined by a very esteemed panel that I'll be happy to have back before the next show. Live your dreams. Watch KRAMPUSMANIA. Don't take no bullshit. Be kind to each other because, by God, it's the holiday season. And join us one way or the other. If you can't be there live, I'll get it out to y'all as soon as I can. This has been Wrestleroni Live for 3 hours and 7 minutes. I thank my esteemed panel. Bunch of experts. I even lost my keyboard in the process here. It's been wild over here. So, I love y'all. Stay safe. It's been crazy gravy. KRAMPUSMANIA II, December 10th. Holy hell. We're going to have fun.
And guys, if you don't watch it, you're going to miss it.
You're going to miss it. The fuck. We love you.